Well, good evening and welcome. It's the Aiken Standard Game of the Week here at Haygood Stadium over on the campus of Aiken High School. I'm Kyle Dawson. With me, Ken Brace. We've got a big one tonight, Aiken High, Brookland-Cayce, and Ken, it's another one in just a wild start to Region 5 4A.
I'll tell you what, we've got 4 teams tied for first, and that could change after tonight. And these are 2 really Air Corps teams tonight. We're going to see the ball in the air a lot. I told my wife, don't expect me till real late after this ball game.
Yeah, this may be not the friendliest for deadlines, but it's going to be one that excites the fans in the seats and hopefully the fans at home. You mentioned that 4-way tie. The way some things can work out, we could have a 5-way tie at the end of this thing. So every single win matters so much in this region, and Aiken has a chance to get right into this thing.
And I've said last week, Aiken's got to be one of the best one-win teams in the entire state. I really believe that. And I dare say most teams don't want to play them in the playoffs, all right? So they've got a chance, got 2 games to finish up the season. They could end up easily in the playoffs, but they got to win 2.
Absolutely, and can't win 2 unless you win the 1. That's what they will go for tonight.
Yeah.
We'll take a break, and we'll come back, and we'll get everybody ready for the rest of the action around our area on this Football Friday night.
It all started at one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
Well, welcome back to Haygood Stadium. We're going to take a look at the rest of the games that our local teams are playing in tonight. We've got some very important games. First game is South Aiken versus Airport. These are 2 of the teams tied for first in the Region 4.
Right, we're looking at 2 of these 2-1 teams.
That's right.
And we kind of look at, okay, one of you wins, but you're going to need help from somebody else. And we also look over at North Augusta that's watching that one, very interested with a win over both.
That's correct, all right? And North Augusta, of course, would hope that they'll end up with the #1 seed. That would be the best thing to come out of that.
Absolutely, looking to go back-to-back in region play.
Okay, last year, South Aiken defeated Airport 28-14, okay? I think it's going to be about that tonight, okay? I think South Aiken should be a slight favorite, even though they're at Airport. What do you think?
I think so, too. And what head coach Chris Hamilton told me this week is that Airport runs a complex offense, and it's the kind of thing that can maybe throw you off your game if you're not playing fully in system. Yeah. Playing fully in system is something that South Aiken has done really well over the last few years. So I look for them to do that, clean up some of the mistakes that they've made in recent weeks, and also sort of ride the wave that they've developed in getting the offense going.
Well, I was going to say the same thing about the offense. I've been a little disappointed. They haven't had as much spark as they've had the last few years. Their quarterback, Jesse, he's been doing a great job. He's running the football. He's one of those few quarterbacks that has more running touchdowns, or responsible for more running touchdowns than throwing touchdowns. Okay, good arm, got some good receivers, but their offense just hasn't been quite as strong as the last couple of years.
Right, and they're playing behind such a great offensive line, a group that Chris Hamilton said playing perhaps better than any that he's had while at South Aiken.
Well, that's great. That's great. So I expect them to win tonight.
I think so too, and the fun continues in Region 5 4A.
Yes. Second game tonight, we've got Midland Valley at North Augusta. And this is a game where there's a couple intriguing things about it. I believe, for instance, that Tanner White used to be at Midland Valley.
You are correct.
Okay, and now he's one of the leading point scorers in the entire county, but he's playing for North Augusta.
Right.
So I think that adds a little more zest to this contest.
I think so. And I mean, not that he needs more zest after last week accounting for all 5 touchdowns in that win over South Aiken. But this is a North Augusta team that, they're feeling good after, losing that first region game to Brookland-Cayce. Now they're on a string of 2 in a row, and they're looking at closing out with Midland Valley and Airport. Brian Thomas said after that first loss, we got to win 4 in a row.
Yeah, and I think they'll win tonight, okay? And I feel bad for, we're getting some company, okay? We might have to move up a little bit, okay? Let's just move over a little bit. All right, we'll do that. We can be a little flexible.
It's a big senior night here at Aiken High.
It is.
I think we're good now.
Okay, now one of the other things that we have to deal with, I feel for Midland Valley. They haven't won a game this year, and I used to have a coaching buddy who said, you go through a season and don't win one, then you'll find out how much you really love kids and how much you love football. Okay.
Right, and so, Aiken is a program that can relate a little bit after having to go through last season winless.
Yeah.
Got that win against Midland Valley. Now we're kind of looking at Midland Valley like, okay, when's that win going to come?
Yeah, and it's going to be a tough road to hoe. They're playing in region now, and they will be the underdog in all the games they play.
Right, it's North Augusta and South Aiken to close it out. That's a tall hill to climb.
That's tough. That's tough. Our third game tonight, okay, we've got Pelion at Strom Thurmond, okay? And Strom Thurmond, for me again, a little bit shaky at the beginning of the year. I thought they'd be a little stronger, but they're coming on, and I don't think they'll have a problem with Pelion tonight.
Oh, they're real strong. They're, a win away here from wrapping up an undefeated region championship. They're really the odds-on favorites right now. The only reason we can't go ahead and crown them is that Pelion is a one-loss team in region. Stranger things have happened, but this is a Strom Thurmond team that, an interesting one for our area because played 10 weeks all the way through. This is their regular season finale.
That's right, and they've got a great quarterback in Jaquan Harris, and they've got the leading rusher in the area in Hill. So they've got the talent, and they've come on strong. Expect that they'll finish up tonight the regular season with a win.
Absolutely, with that big physical group up front and the way they run the football, I like their odds.
Yeah, another team that I've been high on this year because what D'Angelo has done is Silver Bluff. Okay?
Absolutely.
I think they're very much improved. Last couple of weeks, though, they found it a little tougher when they've moved up in competition a bit.
You know what? This was no easy road in Region 2A with 3 teams that have spent time in the top 10 in the state and one in Abbeville that's been the unanimous #1 and defending state champion all season long.
That's right. And Abbeville, everybody I've talked to says they're the best team in the state in that area, and they keep getting that vote. Tonight they play a team 96, okay? And I'll tell you what, Contavious Williams, the quarterback from 96, is the real deal.
He's
okay?
scary good.
He is scary good, and I think that's going to make it real tough tonight for Silver Bluff to get a win down there. I think they may go down to defeat again. I know they're improved. It looks like they're moving in the right direction, but they've got a real tough one tonight.
And yeah, it's a 96 team that you wonder, 96 undefeated, Abbeville undefeated. They play next week.
Yeah.
You wonder if, might they be napping a little bit? Who knows?
I don't know about that. I do know that when Abbeville plays them next week, their quarterback from 96 is going to play. There was one game I think he had to miss this year for some reason.
It was a suspension, and it was an indefinite one, so he missed the game against Dixie. We didn't know when he would come back.
Right.
It was Fox Creek's poor luck that was the game he came back for.
Yeah, and Fox Creek has run into a buzzsaw too coming down the stretch here.
Right.
And I think that's the way it's going to be tonight.
And that's something that Derek Quinn over at Fox Creek told me before the season started. He said, we're going to be a lot better than what our record says because of how tough that region is. They've got one tonight against a Batesburg-Leesville team that has kind of run into the same difficulties within region play.
Yeah, and Batesburg usually pretty daggone good themselves, okay? Next game for us tonight is a team that overall I'd have to say they are the most impressive team in their region from our local teams, and that's Barnwell, okay? Undefeated coming in against Woodland, who comes in with a 4-3 record. Barnwell is just tough. I love their quarterback's accuracy. He's throwing for over 70%. That's ridiculous. Tom Brady doesn't do that all the time.
Right.
Pender has done that. Barnwell is playing an opponent that's pretty tough. Okay. Last time they played, Barnwell, I believe, won by 2 touchdowns. But Woodland's a good football team. I think it's not going to be a cakewalk tonight, but I expect Barnwell after the evening will be 8-0. What about you?
Yeah, absolutely. Not the same Woodland team from the region several years ago, not the same Woodland team that had a home-and-home with Williston Elko recently, an improved Woodland team, but this is a Barnwell team that, I love what they do offensively. I love what Dwayne Garrick does, that they can go from, single back throwing the football, and then if needed, transition right into the wishbone without skipping a beat.
Yeah, and they're trying to get a little bit more of the throwing game in. He said at the beginning of the season, I think they've done that, okay, because it used to be they could beat most teams by lining up in the wishbone and then just throw it if they wanted to have some fun.
Right.
But he said at the beginning of the season, we have got to have a passing game to get into far deeper into the playoffs. That's what he's worked on. Pender's really taken him to task there. He's really done a great job.
Right, and our suspicion is that increased usage in the pass game was meant for next week's game against Bamberg Earhart. Up first, though, that's a chance for them to move to 8-0 against Woodland.
Yeah, okay, so I think that'll be a good ball game, but I really expect Barnwell to win. All right, next, we got the two teams that we already mentioned a little bit, and that's Batesburg-Leesville at Fox Creek, okay? Batesburg comes in 3-4. Fox Creek is 3-4, okay? My take on it is Fox Creek has taken it on the chin the last couple of weeks.
Absolutely.
And I mean, they got embarrassed a couple of weeks, frankly. That's not what they're used to. They've been playing much better than that.
Right.
But when you lose 3 in a row, that kind of works on you mentally, too. What do you think?
Right,
Mike?
I mean, an 0-3 start in region, and they know they can move the football. They know that they've got playmakers. They know that they've got athletes on defense, and that's their strength. But when you see, 40-plus point losses in a row piled up on you like that, and shutouts at that, it can take a toll. Derek Quinn told me, though, that had a good first couple days of practice this week. The guys haven't given up on it yet, and he was feeling confident coming into this one. It's going to be a competitive, and it's going to be a physical football game.
Yeah, I think it will be. The one thing, and I think we can say this about a lot of teams in the area this year, I already mentioned that I thought some of the offenses were down, but when they come up against teams that have good offenses, we're having trouble stopping people. Okay,
Absolutely.
There's been a lot of points put on the board, all right? And that game tonight at Batesburg-Leesville, even though both of them come in with losing records, really, 3-4, somebody's going to come out and be 500, but I think it's going to be a fairly high-scoring game over there tonight.
I think so, and what's important in this one is that is a 6-team region that gets 5 spots in the playoffs.
Yeah, okay, well, that'll be kind of nice then if we can get those guys in there.
That's the hope, is that we get to that point and we're not, a Silver Bluff Fox Creek game next week where only one can get in. We'd like to go ahead and get both of them in.
And I'm looking forward to that game next week. That's going to be our game of the week next week. I love seeing Silver Bluff play, and I'd like to see that ball game. And Fox Creek has done a good job as they've moved up a division also.
Absolutely, they've grown up so fast.
Yeah, they really have.
They're not the Region 1 Single A team that they were just a couple years ago. I mean, they're moving up quickly, and they just keep adding students. So I wouldn't be surprised to see them move up more here in the near future.
Yeah, okay. Next, we've got Ridge Spring Monetta at Estill. And before we get to the overall teams, we had Ridge Spring last week. And both teams, Wagner and Ridge Spring, have some good football players, okay? They can really run the football. They both play a very aggressive defense. And one of the players that just constantly stuck out for me last week, I should say, I want to mention Trey Dean.
Trey Dean,
I'll tell you what, he was all over the field. He made a miraculous saving tackle at one point. I thought he could play for anybody, and he's playing for a 1A team, but I'll tell you what, that young man is a football player. Now, as I say, both of those teams have a lot of good players, but he was like one of those shining stars for me in the game last week.
Yeah, Trey Dean, I think, might be the best pure athlete we have in this area. He is that good. He's one of our leading tacklers. He's got 75 of them.
75 tackles.
He's tied for the lead in the area with 17 tackles for loss. He's got the lead in sacks with 11. When you get into passing downs against that defense, Kenny Lipsey likes to just turn him loose.
Oh yeah, and he's dangerous. I mean, and he hit people, and like I say, he was all over the field. So I wanted to give a special shout out to him, just in case. But now we got Ridge Spring Monetta playing at Estill. Ridge Spring 3-4. Estill comes in 1-5. Okay, Estill, another one of those teams that has given up a lot of points.
Yes.
I truly feel like this is going to be a win for Ridge Spring tonight.
And the thing about this game, 2 years ago, Ridge Spring Monetta went down to Estill and lost.
Yeah.
Nobody saw that coming. Coach Lipsey told me it was a lack of focus from his guys. Rest assured, they will be ready to go when they get there. And he may remind them that entire 85-mile bus ride down there about what happened 2 years ago.
I got you. All right. And Ridge Spring, like I say, I liked their team last week. Tyler also impressed me. And he's the kind of football player, he just loves being out there. He was excited no matter what was going on. Special teams, defense, offense. Like a lot of 1A teams, a lot of players that had to go both ways. A couple cramps came up. Tonight, nice and cool. I don't think the cramps will be a problem, and it should be a good ball game. Last
Absolutely.
week, two teams, pretty evenly matched, and it was a good ball game to call, good ball game to watch.
Oh, great football game.
Yeah.
And to add on to it, I mean, a county rivalry, a trophy game, you can't ask for more than
I
that.
tell you what, and that trophy, that's a neat thing for a lot of teams. They do it in some high schools and some colleges, and it's kind of fun.
Right, this isn't the Big Ten where we have a different rivalry trophy going out every week. I mean, it's a big deal around here that we have a rivalry trophy. Aiken and South Aiken have one, but it's not, something that we see every day. So it is a special thing to have.
Yeah, kind of fun. All right, then we move on. All right, we got Denmark Olarg going down to Wagner Sally. Okay, Wagner comes in 6-1, Denmark 4-3, and Wagner last week demonstrated how well they can run the football. Okay, and they've got some good players on Denmark's team, but I believe Wagner Sally should win this ball game tonight.
Wagner Sally, 300-plus rushing yards against Ridge Spring Monetta. That just doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Teams don't do that. What's really, really impressed me about Wagner Sally, it's been their focus. They've achieved program milestones this year already. A win over Willis-Elko for the first time since 1993. Getting their rivalry trophy back that has put them out front in the region when region championships don't grow on trees out there. Yet they come back out for these games against opponents that aren't as high profile, and they put them away immediately.
Yeah.
That's what I like about the way they're playing football.
Yeah, I feel the same way. And the one thing that I would like to see them be able to do, but it's kind of tough, is throw the ball just a little bit more, because I think they've got some people that really enjoy catching the daggone thing.
What I like, the pass attempts aren't frequent, but when they attempt them, somebody is usually wide open because they're not expecting that.
And then both teams last week played very solid defense, okay, tough defense, and I think that's what's going to happen tonight. So I think we're going to see Wagner Sally come home with a win. And then the last game is Blackville Hilda at Williston.
Talk about physical. Here we go.
Well, this one scares me a little bit for the local team, though. Blackville has shut out the last three teams they've played.
Yes.
Okay, I would say this. A couple of them are not the strongest teams, so that may be a little bit deceiving. But Williston is very, very young, okay, and they are very short in terms of numbers. When we had them a couple weeks ago, I believe they only dressed 24 players, and I think 5 or 6 of them were freshmen.
Yes,
And
they brought some guys up from JV. They've had to make do with some lower numbers.
That's right. And Blackville is known for their defense this year. They do have a good defensive team. They get after you. The fact that they shut Ridge Spring out, okay, and won the game 2-0. I thought it was a baseball score.
A safety right there, on the opening drive for Ridge Spring Monetta, and it held up the rest of the night.
That's exactly right. So I think this is the one game I think tonight that will be a toss-up, okay? And of course, any high school football, college, we saw college football last week with 4 of the top 10 getting big. So anything can happen. But this one, I think you flip a coin and come up with a winner. Of course, I would have to say that we're probably rooting for Williston in that ball game, but Blackville's going to give them all they want.
And Blackville Hilda, one thing that they're doing right now, they've taken on the identity of their new head coach, Corey Crosby, the way that they play defense. Willis-Elko coach Derek Youngblood told me that he watches film. Their defense will go from a 3-man front to a 5-man front to a 4-man front. You hear about offenses lining up differently to confuse the defense.
Yeah.
Blackville Hilda can line up differently defensively to confuse the other offense.
I got you.
And they get after the football.
Yeah, and defensively, I kind of like a team that can play defense. And tonight, for instance, just to go back for just a minute on the game that we're going to call tonight here, both of these teams are known for their offenses. I mean, they're the Air Corps. They're going to throw the ball over the field. And I talked to coaches from both sides before the game, and they both said, yeah, but we can't stop anybody all the time. We have a little trouble stopping them.
May come down to a turnover or two. That's part of what fueled Aiken to that win over Midland Valley. They started taking care of their fundamentals. That was a tie game at halftime. Aiken picks off 3 passes in that game, and they win by 27.
All right. Well, they're getting ready to have the national anthem, so we'll take a timeout here, and we'll head upstairs to the booth, and we'll show the national anthem, I believe, and then we'll come with some commercials, and we will get ready for the kickoff.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, well, welcome back, folks. It's the Aiken Standard Game of the Week here at Haygood Stadium. Aiken High hosting Brookland-Cayce in another big one here in Region 5 4A. A quick thanks to our friends over at Just Julie's and Chick-fil-A. And speaking of Chick-fil-A, you guys will have a chance tonight to see the reigning Chick-fil-A fan favorite player of the week in Aiken High's Charvis Jones, a wide receiver who put up 152 yards and 3 touchdowns on just 7 catches last week against Airport. And somehow this guy just keeps getting behind defenders. At this point, it's not a surprise anymore, but he still gets back there.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, they've got some speed. Also, Stevan Porter, he can cause some problems too. The quarterback, Wallace, good arm, good quarterback, very mobile, gets around very well, throws the ball very well, and that's why they've been successful offensively.
Yeah, and when we talk about teams maybe trying to incorporate the pass a little bit more, it's usually not, we're going to drop back and just heave it that many times a game. Usually it doesn't work well when you try it anyway. Corey Wallace has just come out gunning and hasn't stopped. He has got great touch on that deep ball, and I mean, it's the reason why he's our area's leading passer. One of the best ones in the state.
Yes, he is. All right. And in fact, we're going to see two quarterbacks tonight that can flat out throw it.
Yeah, on the other side of the field, we see the one who is tops in the state.
That's right. They both have over 2,000 yards passing, and they both have over 20 touchdown passes. Can't beat that. And Sharpie on the other side, he's throwing at a 70% clip, the same as the young man that we talked about a little earlier.
Well, when you're at a Craig Pender completion percentage, you know you're doing something right.
That's exactly right. Teams look good tonight. I think we're going to have an exciting ball game. Getting lined up for the coin toss, and we'll have the captains in just a second.
Yeah, we've got a few seniors over on this this Aiken sideline.
Yeah,
so a lot to sort out down here.
All righty, and as they get ready for the coin toss, okay, we've got, let's see here, we've got Brookland-Cayce first. Number 8 is Bryce Sizemore, okay, and he's the middle linebacker, and he's going to be responsible for trying to stop some of the running game tonight. Okay, number 11 is Paul Edwards, outside linebacker, so we got a couple of their linebackers there. All right, let's see what we got. Number 60. All right, and that is Owen Ard, A-R-D. He's the center, 6 foot 285, pretty strong, strong young man. Okay, and then number 70 is Jared Brown. He's a tackle and defensive end, 5'11" senior, goes 205.
Yeah, and it looks like we've backed up the big, massive seniors on that Aiken side. Of course, we see Corey Wallace there on the far left.
That's right.
Not enough we can say about that guy at the quarterback position.
He's one of the captains, of course. Okay, and Jabbar Corley is also out there, number 24, and number 50 is the third captain, and that is Demarius Ginyard. All right, I had a Ginyard that played for me one year, good football player. All right, and they've got a number of seniors on this team. All right, they're going to miss them next year.
Yeah, and guys that you look past the record with these guys. These are guys who have produced a ton while they've been here. In a transitional period for this program coming in, with Brian Neal leaving, J.W. Montgomery coming in, a lot of rebuild going on here at Aiken High, and these guys, they got the first win on the board after 16 straight losses, and they're looking for a couple more before they're done.
All right, and let's see who won the toss. Looks like the Bearcats have won the toss. And they've elected to receive to start the ball game.
I wouldn't waste any time putting that offense on the field either.
Very pleased with their offense. We've got a lot of people that will probably be calling over and over tonight for the Bearcats. They've got some very outstanding athletes. Their number 1 running back is Will Way, I should say, and you'll see him with number 2. Cam Morris, one of their wide receivers, and he's got to be able to catch the ball. 5'10", about 190, number 4. Okay, and Bryce Sizemore, as we mentioned before, the middle linebacker. He'll be an important player tonight. And Paul Edwards, the other outside linebacker. So we've got a couple guys that they are very high on, both on defense and offense.
And again, they're a team as they make their way onto the field right now. Part of that 4-way tie for first at 2-1. So much at stake over these final 2 weeks before, obviously, they're here tonight. Next week, they will be finishing things off with Airport. Tons at play. Airport, of course, playing South Aiken tonight, both of them 2-1. Who knows what those records will look like when they meet each other next week.
Yeah, and all of the partners here, all the different teams in this division are playing against each other this week and next week. Okay, so we're going to figure out something over the next 4 of them will make the playoffs.
Yeah, we will figure something out. That is for sure. And again, there are some things that have to happen that are maybe out of the not necessarily out of the question, but things that will need a lot of help to happen. But there is a way that we could end up with a 5-way tie, and then we get to play with all kinds of fun tiebreakers.
That's right, and I know one team for sure that's in our area, and that's North Augusta. They don't want to see a tiebreaker.
No, they just want to go ahead and bring home that region championship for the 2nd straight year. South Aiken would love to have it back after having to give it away last year.
And I'll tell you what, we have this game here tonight. Aiken versus Brookland-Cayce, and then next week Aiken has to take on North Augusta, so that's going to determine something too. They're going to be in a must-win situation both nights.
Yeah, the original Aiken County rivalry, Aiken and North Augusta, one that who knows, the way that Aiken's throwing the football, they will definitely be aware over on that North Augusta side. Love their linebacker play.
I do too. Okay, I think that's the strength of their defense over there.
Go ahead and get the Aiken guys out here right now. We'll see who we send back deep for the return on Brookland-Cayce's side. Number 5, Joe Produbsky's one of them. And he's a guy who's going to touch the football a lot for the Bearcats, and he's one that Aiken's got to make sure if they get a hand on him, they bring him down.
One of the other things that we haven't talked a lot about this year are the kicking games, okay?
Hey, Aiken's got a good one.
Yes, they do. And not everybody does, so that's a little bit of an advantage.
Not everybody does. Austin McKay, the senior over there at Aiken, he's the backup quarterback. He can play some wide receiver. Good kicker in that win against Midland Valley. Hit a couple field goals, including a 41-yarder, made all 5 of his extra points. His kickoff is up. Produbsky's got it at about the 12-yard line, and here he comes, and that's what we were just talking about that needs to happen. That was William McDuffie right there for Aiken, wrapping him up, bringing him down at about the 28-yard line. That's where Sharpie and the offense will take over.
And, I think that's one of the toughest things to do on a football field is make an open field tackle on the kickoff. Okay,
yeah, that guy's running fast in a completely different direction.
It's very rare that you have to run 40 yards and tackle somebody that's run 20 yards and just take him head on, but he did a nice job with that.
So we'll see Sharpie come out here in a little bit of a pistol look. The fake and gets it out of there quickly, but it is broken up, and that looked like it was C.J. Hazel right there, number 18, in the middle of the field.
And Hazel did a great job last week with the number of tackles that he had, one of the best defensive players for Aiken.
Had a pick 6 against Midland Valley there that really put things away. He's a fiery player out there.
And Reed Sharpie, they use their passing game as basically just a long handoff like a lot of spread teams do.
Get the ball out so quick. We'll see the handoff here up the middle. It goes nowhere. Good start for the Hornet defense as they've put Brookland-Cayce in a 3rd and long situation, as that was Will Way getting stopped short there.
And that's one of the things that they were not able to do a couple weeks ago when they played South Aiken at the beginning of the ball game. South Aiken ran the ball very, very well to start the game, but Aiken came on strongly in the second half and really made a ball game out of it.
See, 3rd and long, and we've got 5 wide here, and Sharpie takes off running up the middle. He's going to be close. Dives maybe a little short.
I think he is short. Depends on the mark. Well,
it looks like we got him about the 36, so he'll be about 2 yards short there.
Good start for the Hornets.
Yeah, Aiken gets a 3 and out on the opening possession, but hang on. Brookland-Cayce may go for this one after all. There they go, up the middle, and that's a big gain on 4th down. That was Tony Glenn.
Tony Glenn's a big running back, 5'9", 215. Okay, and
he picked up about 11 yards on that one. That was a big gain.
That is a gutsy call by Coach Sharpie. Jeez.
That shows a lot of confidence in that offense. We're going to go ahead and have a little sideline warning here. Back everybody up on the Aiken side. We'll bring the speed down a little bit here as we've got some time to think about this one. But BC football at the 47. See a man in motion here. And we'll see, that one's going to be more of a screen there off to the left side, looking for an angle. He's going to get around toward the sideline there. That was Malachi Brown. And that's going to be a gain of about 3.5.
Pretty nice run by Malachi. All right. That's a tough play to gain yardage on when you have to throw the ball that far, okay? And then you have to have a good block from the other wide receiver out there. They did it well. Good start for this drive.
Right here at midfield, and you got to keep an eye on way over there. Sharpie rolls out. This may just be a throwaway here, and it is.
Smart move. It was under pressure, didn't have anybody open.
A good effort there from David Neal to go for it on the sideline anyway, but just ran out of real estate.
Well, he had dropped further back than I'm sure his coach, who also happens to be his father, would have preferred, because if they had sacked him, it would have been about a 20-yard loss.
And so now this is the second, third and long of this drive. We'll see what the Bearcats have planned here. And who knows, this could be two-down territory once again if they don't get it. We'll see a handoff here, and we got a
look out, look out.
Ball in the air, overthrown. That one, a pass attempt from Will Way. You had Demetrius Preston back there for Aiken. Looked like he may have seen that one coming.
And you know, the receiver looked to me like he slowed down just a little bit. I think if he had kept going, there may have been a wide open player just a little bit earlier.
I wonder if maybe he thought Will Way was going to take off and run that one instead of throw it. But regardless, we're looking at a 4th and about 8 here at midfield.
And they're going for it again.
We'll see a timeout taken by Aiken. And this will be a chance right here for Aiken to get off the field, or Brookland-Cayce could have a second consecutive 4th down conversion.
And I do think this is pretty gutsy. You don't know if you want to give Aiken the ball on the 50-yard line to start their drive.
That may have been a case of just wanting to see how the Aiken defense would line up in that case.
And did you catch who called the timeout? Was it Aiken?
Aiken called that one.
Okay.
They may have realized they didn't like their alignment. Here we go, and it's Sharpie back on the field. So we will see another attempt here at 4th and 8. Sharpie will drop back. He's got a rusher coming right over the middle of the field, nearly picked by Mason Hall, number 9 in the middle of the field, and that is the 4th down stop for Aiken. And Hornets take over at midfield. Wouldn't be surprised to see him go deep on the first play.
Well, I'll tell you what, Aiken came out with 8 men playing pass defense. They put on a rush with only 3, and they still had pressure during that series. Pretty good start.
Pretty good start, and here comes that Aiken offense. And we'll keep an eye on Corey Wallace, and back there with him, we'll see Jeremiah Green, a guy who, has been making big plays since his freshman year here at Aiken, and he can lower the shoulder and run some guys over too. So the shotgun snap from midfield. Wallace, he's got a man right over the middle there. That's going to be about a 15-yard gain there for DeAndre Bynum, who is down to the 34-yard line, so we'll call it 16 on the play.
Excellent start for Aiken. They got plenty of time, really no pressure whatsoever. Rolling to his left and makes a perfect throw. That's not the easiest thing for a quarterback to do. He did it very well. Nice completion.
See a 1st and 10 here at the BC 34. We'll wait for a call from the sideline. He throws across. That one nearly bobbled, and that one's not going to go anywhere.
And that's that long throw I was talking about. They had space. Okay, they had a lot of cushion over there. Nice response by the Brookland-Cayce cornerback once they threw the football.
Yeah, Mason Hall had space for about a second there, and it quickly disappeared. So we'll put Aiken back at the 35.
And that was Devontae Strader who came up and made that tackle, and he's only a sophomore. That's a pretty good play.
2nd and 11 here from the 35 for Aiken. Fake the handoff. He'll throw across. That's Bynum again. And we've got a flag on the play.
And I think that might be a hold.
Take a look there, maybe even a block in the back.
Yep, that looked pretty obvious from up here.
You see the hands go up from Demetrius Preston. It's almost an admission of guilt in that case.
I can almost hear him saying, "My bad."
So we'll walk that one back.
Oh, that's a big penalty because that was in the backfield.
Take it back to the 46. So Aiken's going to be looking at about a 2nd and 22 here. Yeah, and Barnwell already off to a good start against Woodland, taking a 7-0 lead. Warhorses continue to impress. We'll see how much they can grow that lead before this one ends. See, Wallace will take the snap. He's got Green around the right side. He's got tons of speed, breaks it back in. He's across the 40. That'll set up still a 3rd and long here for the Hornets, but they can make that up in a hurry with the way that they throw it.
One of the big differences in the Aiken offense over the years since I've been doing these broadcasts is they used to be predominantly a running team. Now
Right.
they are predominantly a passing team.
Right. I mean, even the Brian Neal teams from a few years ago, were a flex bone triple option kind of team that eventually graduated to more of a pistol. But this is a stark difference. Wallace screens it, and that one just right over Jeremiah Green, and that will bring up a 4th and long.
And a little fortunate there. They had a defender right in the midst of that pack, and he had a shot at that football. So both teams, which are high scoring, stopped during their first drives.
And so that'll bring out Trustin Ingram for Aiken High back there to punt. A chance to pin BC deep. Chance also for Will Way to break one here for the Bearcats. Ingram's kick handled without issue. We'll see. Way grabs it, and he's down there at about the 8-yard line. So that'll get the Brookland-Cayce offense back out there.
And he called for a fair catch but couldn't get to the football, and it took a bounce. He did a nice job fielding it, okay, but that was a dangerous play. If he had muffed that or something, they'd have had the ball inside the 5-yard line probably. But he saved him a few yards, gives him a little space to work.
So we'll see Sharpie will take this snap from just off of the BC goal line. We'll see a handoff up the middle, and that'll buy some breathing room.
And that was Will, I believe, and he was gang tackled. There were a lot of Hornets around him. They were
Gang
swarming.
tackled to push the pile forward a little bit. So that buys some space as he's out there just beyond the 15. So give him 7 on the play.
The center for the Bearcats is a pretty stout young man.
I think we could call him a people mover. See a flag here on the play, and Hornets offside. So that will give BC a 1st down. So that's 13 quick yards for the Bearcats, who are now at their own 21. We'll see some tight coverage here on the wideouts.
A little bit different strategy. They are pressing their wide receivers. Brookland-Cayce gave them a lot of cushion, and they just responded.
See, that one goes to Perdubsky. That's the first time we're calling on him tonight, and the Aiken defense was ready for him. That was Alex Thomas leading the charge defensively. And Nick White got over there as well.
Well, I'll tell you, that's a tough play to run against that press coverage. And they responded in a hurry.
So yeah, we'll call that no gain, and we'll see Sharpie roll out, looking for somebody, and he's got Will Way. And Will Way's across the 35, and Way doing a good job of getting to a spot where his quarterback could find him, because nobody else was available on the play.
David Neal responded, made a nice tackle, but big gain. And once again, Sharpie's under some pressure. Okay, they're getting some pressure out of those down linemen.
So at the 36-yard line here, gain of 15 on the play and another 1st down. We'll see a throw over there to the left side. That one went over there to Cam Morris on the left side, and that'll be a gain of about 3.
Demetrius Preston, one of the safeties, in on the tackle. Some good tackling so far tonight in the open field from both teams.
Again, you mentioned it before, how difficult that can be, and when you consider the explosive nature of both of these offenses, it's even more important that you get it done when you have the chance. See now, Sharpie, a whole host of Hornets coming at him, but the screen is set up, and there goes Will Way.
And that was an outstanding execution of the screen pass. Really did a terrific job, and that was one of those deals where the Hornets got in there, and somebody should have said, wait a minute, this is a little too easy. There were 5 people there, and
that one goes all the way down to about the 29 there. Big gain on the play.
And that was a nice comeback block by one of the offensive linemen. I believe it was the center who came back toward the line of scrimmage and cleared the way for Way to really pick up some yardage.
A good pickup of about 30 on the play. And after starting inside their own 10, BC's just outside the red zone here. See that one handed off around the right side. And we'll see the tackle eventually made, but Pedozzi didn't go down easy on that one either.
And that was David Neal who made the initial hit, then got some help. It looked like to me that play, the timing was off just a little bit.
We'll give him about a yard on that one. See, we're looking at, we're under the 4.5-minute mark here. And for a game we expected to see a lot of points scored, we have got a couple of donuts on the board. A little, shovel pass inside, incomplete pass, big hit in there.
Did they rule it incomplete?
Incomplete on the shovel pass there.
He's probably telling him it's incomplete.
Just to be safe, though, they're going to hang on to it. So that'll set up another 3rd and long, and it was a big hit handed in right there.
Yeah, he never had the football, so that's a definite incomplete pass.
I believe that was Talik Jones down there. Big hit. So 3rd and long, here we go again. BC's had a few of these already, and the results are mixed so far. Sharpie will try roll out to the left and extending the play, and he's able to sneak in some yards there before going out of bounds.
Yeah, I'm surprised he got around there like that. Looked like they had him cornered. Well, we know one thing, they're not going to punt.
Call it the 25 here, so we'll give him 4 on the play.
Here's a nice surprise to start. Silver Bluff 3-96-0 to start the ball game.
That is a good start for the Bulldogs, who, it's been a tough start to region play for them. So they're happy to see some things break to their angle for once. We do end up seeing the flag thrown in there.
It was a delayed flag, wasn't it?
See if they determine that some contact was made. Offsides on 4th down. So that'll make this 4th down conversion a lot more manageable, because that's going to be a 4th and about a yard.
I know they're supposed to look at the football. That's what everybody tells them, but
we'll see a gain there. That's from Tony Glenn, and that easily is a Chandler Law Firm 1st down for the Bearcats.
I'll tell you what, he's a big running back. Goes about 215. Here they got a power eye look.
Looks like we've got
2 blockers ahead of him, and he's got nice running room.
I think we'll give him about 6 there. Only needed 1. We'll take a quick break here as we've got an Aiken player being tended to on the field.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier Tire. Safe when new, safe when worn.
All right, well, we are back here as C.J. Hazel able to get up, maybe just a cramp there, but good to see him, one of the Hornets' senior leaders, up and able to leave the field under his own power.
Yeah, very important to their defense. You know, a little earlier I was going to say, they got called for a penalty there of offsides. But I think high school football, at least high school football, needs to address the fact that the offense can line up there and then make sudden movements, all right, and just to look for signals from the sideline or something. And they can do that, but if the defense happens to move, they get penalized for it. And I think they got to look at that rule, all right, with the way you got to give the defense a little help.
Well, BC's not interested in giving this Aiken defense any help. There's a pass from Sharpie to Produbsky, and he's down inside the 10 there as we're under the 4-minute mark here in the first quarter. That's going to be a gain of about, we'll call it 5 on the pass play. That's 57 yards now through the air for Sharpie here in this first quarter.
That's a nice catch. A lot of defenders there. I mean, they've got 8 of them back there, so there's not a whole lot of space to throw it into.
Yeah, Nick White had that first contact, and he had plenty of help after that. We'll call this one from the 8-yard line. There goes Way, initially wrapped up there, and the Hornets will drop him. That was Philip Collins that got in there first.
And I think we're going to see Mr. Glenn come back in here. I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't hesitate to give him the football here.
There he is. I kind of like this call. It's been successful so far.
Sure enough, there he is, and initial contact, and he powers right through it. He's down to about the 5.
And that's going to be close to a first down. Nothing fancy about it. Power eye to the left, and here we come. 2 blockers in front of a 215-pound running back. Now they're going the other direction, it looks like. On the right.
Another 4th down try here just outside of the end zone. And he is stood up right there at the 5. And that'll be Aiken football.
They may regret not going back to the left, huh?
We may have had a little bit of chatter down there. We've got flags thrown. We will just have to address the laundry on the field. But a good stop here from the Aiken defense, albeit momentarily.
That's very nice penetration.
That looked like that was Jeremiah Green that got in there with a little bit of help from Demetrius Preston, who we're talking about a lot here early.
Good defense. They are going to measure, I believe.
Well, we're gonna see what happens here with these flags.
Yeah, that ball doesn't look like it's on the line, so if the chain is beyond that, I don't even think they need to measure it.
We may have just had a case of some guys exchanging pleasantries down there, but we will see. And
first down for Aiken.
Looks like they're going to just wave everything off and just call it first down Aiken. No, we will have a personal foul called on Aiken. So that'll put the Hornets right in the shadow of the goalpost.
It sure will. Half the distance.
Ooh, they're just inside their own 3 here.
We've seen this kind of situation be important. Ridge Spring a couple weeks ago. Safety is all that Blackville was able to get, but
it was important. Can you imagine if we had a 2-0 final here tonight? So we'll see what Aiken can do after another 4th down stop here. This one isn't at midfield like last time. Wallace has got Green back there with him, and they are deep in the end zone. And we'll see Wallace try to break this one around to the right side. He's going to pick up a few there and get across the 5. But I believe we've got a little more laundry on the field. It was kind of a slow developing move over there to the sideline. See if anybody held on the play. Instead, it's another one of those blocks in the back. As we see it, I think right there coming in was Mason Hall.
And there was a hold, too, that if it didn't get called, there still was one, but
that was
we'll see what they call.
It was dealer's choice on that one. So we'll walk this one right back. Ultimately, I do believe it's a gain of a yard maybe for the Hornets on the play, as we are approaching 2 minutes to go here in the first quarter, still scoreless. And so now we will see, I mean, an Aiken offense that they throw it about 75% of the time, and when they do throw it, they like the deep ball, but it's maybe not the appropriate occasion for it. As we'll see, there goes Green up the middle, and there's some of that power running as he's able to get it to the 10.
Very good run. And Green is their leading rusher. Doesn't have a huge amount of yardage, but he's got some toughness to him.
Great kick returner, and they've been using him more defensively. He was a USA Today All-State pick at defensive back last year, so they figured why not give him a little bit more time back there. Hornets will try it from the 10. That throw a little too sharp there for Talik Jones.
This is a big play coming up at 3rd down, and what do we have, about 3rd and 3 or 4?
Yeah, we'll call it 3.
And they need to move the ball a little bit. It would probably be dangerous if they had to punt from this deep.
We'll see what they've got dialed up here. They need 3. Looks like that one will go to Green. He tries for the juke there, but KJ Blackman wasn't fooled. So that'll go down as no gain, and this is what they wanted to avoid, but the punt team is going to come out onto the field, and we'll see what Tristan Ingram can do from in his own end zone.
Yeah, and that was tough field position to start that drive, but they're certainly happy they were able to start it there, because otherwise they'd have been putting 7 on the scoreboard probably.
Yeah, better to start it at your own 3 when it's 0-0. Beats the alternative. We'll see what Ingram can do here. It is a good snap.
Excellent snap.
A nice high kick, too.
Very nice.
And Wade didn't have a whole lot of room to catch that, but he is able to snag it, and he'll have that one at the Aiken 44. So a good kick there from Ingram.
And that was a nice play by Way. All right, he was surrounded a little bit and didn't seem to bother him. North Augusta 14, Midland Valley 0 at the beginning of that ball game, and honestly, that's not a surprise.
That's been par for the course for that rivalry for quite a number of years now. As North Augusta again is looking to go back-to-back region championship seasons. BC wasting no time here at the 44. Sharpie, he's got Way back there with him. He'll fake that handoff. He's going to throw it downfield, and we'll see what the call is here. We've got a catch down to the 25. But a flag was thrown almost in the area where we're looking at a defensive holding, perhaps. Something going on there between Stavon Porter and it looked like Keon Middleton over there. So that is, I think, more of a classic defensive holding situation, but we'll see what we end up with.
Looks like they might be going the other way. No,
that is indeed, and of course they will decline that penalty. They'll be more than happy with the gain on the play. As yeah, they're down to the 45.
Pretty good throw that time by Sharpie.
See, he's got Way in motion. Way will go around that left side, and he powers his way down to about the 10.
That's a nice run by Way. Coach has got to love it when he turns and goes north and south.
Give him 15.
Plants his foot right there and takes it toward the goal line.
And again, able to pick up a few extra ones after the initial contact.
All right, frustrated a couple times, Brookland-Cayce. Let's see if they can get something in the red zone now.
And we may let this one go ahead and tick off. We're under 5 seconds, and it's going to be a long walk to the other side of the field. So that's going to do it here for the first quarter, and yeah, just as we suspected, right? 0-0 between Brookland-Cayce and Aiken. The Bearcats are on the move, though, so we'll let everybody chat and make their way over. We'll take a break, and we'll join them at the other end.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children, and it's just a relief.
All right, we're back here. Second quarter set to begin in the Aiken Standard Game of the Week between Aiken and Brookland-Cayce. Big showdown here in Region 5, 4A.
And
scoreless after one.
At the Aiken cheering section, I think, is one of the best in the area.
And it's important to hydrate. I like where his head's at.
Yeah, okay. And they always come out. They get some of them painted up, and they've got some tailgate going on before the ball game. They enjoy it out here. They have some fun, and when things go well, you'll see them racing up and down the sidelines. Haven't had that opportunity yet tonight, but let's hope that they get it.
Well, Brookland-Cayce instead is looking for its opportunity for a little bit of celebration on the sideline. Bearcats are at the Aiken 10. We'll see what's in the cards for the Brookland-Cayce offense here that has moved it well at times, just hasn't gotten it into the end zone yet.
1st and 10, and that ball looks like it's right on the 10-yard line, so this is probably first and goal.
We'll go with first and goal here. We'll see we get a reset play clock there that had dribbled down to about 10 seconds, but we've got it reset, ready to go. Sharp, he'll take that shotgun snap. High snap, he'll take off and run it himself, and he is dragged down. That was Hazel again, and Alex Thomas got in there. But wait.
That was close to a fumble. Okay, I don't think they called it a fumble, but boy, that was close. Good reaction by the defense.
A gain of about 2 on the play. So it'll be second and goal from the 8-yard line. Yeah, in that case, the snap disrupted the timing a little bit there, and Sharpie just had to take off. This one, though, he'll throw it, kind of shoot it out to the left. Big hit applied. That one coming from who else? Demetrius Preston on the throw to Latrell Jamison.
And what a great reaction. Okay, if this is a replay of that play, watch this reaction by number 5, Preston. Okay. He is coming like a shot. Terrific tackle. Great defensive play.
Yeah, good look there on the Aiken ophthalmology replay. A nice play by Preston. And now we're looking at a 3rd and goal here from the 10. And more pressure on Sharpie. He'll take a shot into the end zone, and that one comes up incomplete. So another 4th down, and gee, I wonder what they'll do here.
I do not see the field goal kicker yet, if that's what you're thinking about.
Looks like we've got a man.
Yep, now he comes out.
I enjoy the playing cards they've got on the side that are their play cards. I thought perhaps they'd choose to gamble again here, but instead we'll see the field goal attempt here. We'll call this one about 28 yards.
Caleb Honeycutt is the kicker.
Kick is up, plenty of leg, and it is good. So Brookland-Cayce takes the lead here on a field goal from Honeycutt, make it 3-0 Bearcats, 10:41 to go here in the first half.
You know, I like so far what I see in terms of the Aiken defense tonight. I think they have taken some of the things away that Brookland-Cayce would like to do. And they are daring them to run the football, and they haven't run it effectively yet, really.
Yeah, we'll maybe see if the Aiken offense can help out the Aiken defense. We got some of our future stars of the area right there, taking in the action.
You got the Bears. I think we're going to get a chance to see some of the youth football players at halftime tonight. That's kind of a neat idea. Batesburg, Leesville, 14. Fox Creek, nothing. Barnwell, 14-7 over Woodland.
Again, an improved Woodland team. We'll see how long Barnwell lets them hang around. This has been, it's a Barnwell team that outside of that game against Silver Bluff, it was a one-touchdown game. Other than that, completely unchallenged so far this season. Kickoff coming from Honeycutt, and that one will be fielded inside the 25 there. And slipping some tackles here. That's Hazel.
That's a nice run.
And some good starting field position here. They're on 36. So the Aiken offense will come back out, try it all over again. Just 29 yards of offense for Aiken in the first quarter.
Pretty impressive little run here. Breaks a couple of tackles. Takes a lot of people to bring him down.
And we'll see a quick throw down to the near sideline, and that is the reigning Chick-fil-A Player of the Week, Charvis Jones. First time we've called his name tonight. And he's our area's leading receiver in every category you can imagine.
And he was knocked out of bounds by one of the defensive backs, but if I was on the sideline worried about my defense, I wouldn't like the fact that he didn't wrap him up. I'd like to make sure you get him, because if he missed, Jones was probably going to be in the end zone. Good execution on that play.
Yeah, big play threat for Aiken. Typically what we see from him, I think, is on the deep ball chasing it down, but he's got the speed to get away from people on the short ones too. We'll see how much more they can work him in. He's really become a favored target for Corey Wallace, who's got plenty to choose from. So we'll see as he surveys the field. He'll take a shot. That one, see what they call it here. They'll call it incomplete. That was DeAndre Bynum sliding to make the attempt there.
Decent effort.
And we'll take a look. That one just couldn't quite hang on. So we'll start this one right back at the 47, 2nd and 10 for the Hornets. Soon to approach the 10-minute mark here in the first half. We mentioned Austin McKay before. There he is down there at receiver. The throw high. That was intended for Porter. So when Aiken right now needs a first down to give that defense a rest.
We've seen this a couple times during the season with Aiken recently. Okay, takes them a while to get going, but once they get everything under control here, they're very, very dangerous. Haven't seen that quite yet, but I'm not surprised that they'll start to get some yardage here, complete more of these passes.
You're right, you are, Ken. That was a 14-14 game at Midland Valley at the half before Aiken really blew up. Wallace down the middle of the field, and that one looked like it got Bynum on the shoulder pad.
Whoa, that was a nice throw.
That was a chance for a big gain there, but instead, we'll see Trustin Ingram come back out. We're talking about him more than just about anybody else. That one actually went right through the hands.
Yeah, timed to throw, and he had something on that ball. Could have been a big play. And just looking at the two secondaries, it appears to me right now, off the top of my head, Aiken's secondary is a little bit more aggressive than BC's.
We'll see this one put in the air from Ingram down to about the 13. A tough catch, but Way's able to split the defenders. And he gets it to about the 27-yard line.
I think one of the toughest things in football is to catch those punts.
He's not had easy ones tonight.
He hasn't had easy ones, and he's fearless. He's trying to try to catch everything, which is good.
That's exactly who you want back there.
That's right.
And again, I think you brought it up before, just a sophomore. So we see there will be no 2-0 score for Blackville Hilda tonight, already an 8-0 edge over Williston-Elko as the Hawks, firmly in the number 2 spot in Region 3A. See Sharpie looking for somebody, quick throw. We do have a flag on the play, incomplete pass. And Ken, these are these plays where, you're spending so much time surveying the field. It certainly opens up the opportunity for some holds here.
Sure, yep, that's true.
Those linemen are being asked to hang on for a pretty long time.
And the call is an ineligible receiver downfield, I believe. That's it. I really think Aiken's given these guys a tough way to go tonight defensively.
Is it maybe something that BC might not have been banking on, just given how teams have been able to move the ball on Aiken so far this season? They may have been prepared for a shootout just like a lot of the rest of us were. Let's see, flag there. So we'll see a jump there on the right side of the line, and that'll give 5 yards to the Bearcats. So yeah, hey, 1st and 10. Start it right back where we were before. We'll say right back at the 27. And Sharpie will roll and roll and roll and roll. Pump fake, got the defender in the air and threw it over the top. Nice play there, and he's got Cam Morris.
That was pretty slick because that receiver was well covered. He had somebody in front and somebody in behind him. Defense was well designed. This is just a nice play by the quarterback.
That pump fake, that just got Hazel in the air, and he put it over the top of him. And that's a gain of 15 on the play.
I will not be surprised to see an interception here shortly. They're getting some pressure on him. He's running.
Well, that one will go to way, and he's got a ways to go, and he tripped up there. Tripped up there trying to cut that one back. That'll be a loss of a yard there. Not too many occasions where he's gone backward, and Hornets are happy to see it for a change. We'll see a 2nd and 11. We'll see Sharpie will take that shotgun snap. There's pressure again. He's able to get away from it again. Throw downfield. Got a man, and we've got some extra yardage coming as that was a face mask there as Cam Morris gets to the 39 and go ahead and tack a few more yards onto it.
And Aiken brings a blitz from the outside. You can see that at the top of the screen. And Sharpie is very fortunate to get out of there. They had somebody setting the corner there, and then he finds an open receiver.
Yeah, he just is an elusive athlete there at quarterback, and there we see the face mask.
No question.
Used to bring him down. So additional yardage. And the way that Sharpie's able to extend plays, make things happen, reminds me a lot of a kid that was at North Augusta back in the early to mid-2000s, Brandon Satcher, the quarterback they had there. Sharpie does a lot of things the way that he did, and Brandon Satcher was not kind to the Aiken crowd either.
This is trouble. This is trouble
here, though. And he's able to get away with it.
Wow.
And you know what? I think he's hit out of bounds.
Oh, my goodness. I hope they didn't hit him out of bounds.
Well,
no need for that.
Yeah, there's a flag down there. I think they got him late.
I can't believe he survived that rush that time.
I tell you what, he came back about 25 yards.
Yep.
You're either talking about a potential 2nd and 35 there, and instead an incomplete pass, but they're going to move forward with it.
Oh, wow.
That one, another personal foul.
Let's see how far he does go back. Okay, takes a snap on the 30. Yeah,
And at this point, you think you got him if you're Alex Thomas, and all the way back to midfield.
20 yards, so he was 25 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then came back up and was able to get rid of the ball. I think he's running on buried time there. Borrowed time is what I meant to say. One of these times they're going to get him.
We'll see. We'll go ahead and spot this one. We're going to put it at the 12 for Brookland-Cayce, 1st and 10, as we've got 8:25 to go here in the first quarter. Bearcats still have that 3-0 lead. They'll look to add to it. As we'll see right around here, Produbsy, he is inside the 5, upended just short of the goal line.
That was a nice run. Good effort.
Looked initially like he might have gotten in. They spot him short. We'll see right here. Just short.
Makes a nice cut. I'm not surprised to see number 9, and I'll be very surprised if he doesn't get the football. Now, they did stop him down on the goal line last time.
Any short yardage situation, I'm giving it to Tony Glenn, but this one, Sharpie goes right underneath everybody.
And he's got it.
That's a 1-yard touchdown run, and BC's making it a 2-score lead here. So Produbsy had the 11-yarder there to set that up, and no need for a handoff for the touchdown there. Sharpie takes it himself. As we've got a 9-0 BC lead. We'll see Honeycutt come on to attempt the extra point here. Now we'll see what kind of offense Aiken can muster here. The Hornets very much in need of something positive offensively as Honeycutt bangs that one through. So we'll see BC with a 10-0 lead here over Aiken.
And a little chatter between the teams once again. We've seen that earlier, just a little bit. This game's important to both of these teams.
It's a huge game for both of them. An Aiken team that wants to make the playoff race a lot more interesting, and it's a BC team that wants to make it a lot less interesting. Something, of course, has to give, and it's not going the way of the Hornet faithful here in the early going.
And BC should be favored next week. They play Airport, and I would expect that they'll be the favorite in that game, while Aiken is likely to be the underdog against North Augusta. So this is a big game for Aiken. Airport, little surprise here, 7-0 over South Aiken to start.
Again, that is that's our matchup of 2-1 teams in Region 5 4A. So one of those teams will remain tied for the region lead. We've got that 4-way tie. At most, it can be 3 after this week. Please, Honeycutt prepares to kick this one off. Got to imagine he'll do what he can to avoid Jeremiah Green back there, who's parked at the 15. Instead, he goes right over Jeremiah Green and into the end zone. So we don't see a whole lot of cases where we see those kicks fly into the end zone. That's a big weapon if you can do it.
Yeah, and as I said earlier, a couple years ago, we had a lot of kids in this area that could do that, put it in, and it's a heck of a weapon in high school football, so that they have to have an 80-yard drive or so, and that's tough to do without making a mistake.
Yeah, we really did have a host of strong kickers in this area, and about 2-3 years ago. Still got some good ones, and one of them's going to head up to the far sideline there, Austin McKay. As he's up there on the top side with Charvis Jones. Aiken 1st and 10 on its own 20. Wallace, quick throw for Stavon Porter, and he's got some room.
And I believe that's his first catch of the night, and he has been one of the leading receivers in the entire area. Getting up just a little slow, got a low hit on him.
Yeah, Porter was, I think, the guy coming into the season, the known commodity in the passing game for Aiken. Expected big things from him, and he's gotten a lot of help from his fellow receivers as well. Big gain there as he's out to about the 38-yard line.
He had a very nice game against South Aiken a couple weeks ago.
Long-awaited Chandler Law Firm first down for the Hornets. Fake the handoff, the throw to McKay, and that one hits the turf.
And that was a heck of a fake. Not only did it fool a couple of the defenders, it fooled our cameraman for just an instant.
I was following the running back as well.
And both teams came into this game with a defensive scheme obviously designed to play pass.
Yeah, Wallace 4 for 10 to start out here in the passing game. But it was a slow start against Midland Valley before he got cooking, so we'll see. He tries Porter again, and a lot less room to move over on the right side. We'll call it a gain of 1 on the play. And so again, Aiken finds itself in a 3rd and long situation. The Hornet hecklers would like to see something get moving here.
Yeah, they're kind of quiet right at the moment. Haven't had a whole lot to cheer about offensively so far.
We'll see where Wallace goes. Steps up and throws, and another one off the hands and incomplete. That one was coming in hot, and Green couldn't hang on.
And we've had some drops tonight. And Wallace, he can put something on the football too.
And sure enough, we're calling out Trustin Ingram's name again, as he is called on to punt. Blackville Hilda's put another one into the end zone against Wilson Elko. That's a 14-0 lead in that Barnwell County rivalry.
Will Way is deep for BC Bearcats. Game's moving right along, only 6:46 left in the second quarter.
We are having a chat here with the official on the near sideline. But regardless of what happens with the kick here, I trust that what Will Way does with the football will be anything but routine.
I'm with you. Now he's going to explain to the other side what's going on.
As we are looking at a 4th and 9 here, 6:46 to go in the first half. An Aiken offense that hasn't been slowed down much this season, but really struggling to get much going here, and some of it is self-inflicted.
I was talking to the first generation Sharpie over there before the ball game. We've got 3 of them, granddad, son, and grandson over there.
That's right, a strong Midland Valley connection
That's
there
right.
as well. So we'll see Ingram boots it away. Another high one there for Way, and he'll let this one go. And what a bounce for Aiken. That one will stop at the 11-yard line, and what a night Trustin Ingram's having.
And I believe that was Matthew McNabb, number 20, who was down there like a shot to cover that kick. Oh, that's the center.
you know what? That's your job when you're the long snapper, is to get down there. And right you are. That was McNabb.
And that made a big difference there. Okay, he was 10, 15 yards ahead of everybody else. And Way really, I think, made the right decision not to get in his way, but puts him deep. Nice punt and nice coverage.
6:33 left in the half. BC at its own 11. That throw tipped, and a few Hornets over there, but none of them close enough.
I thought that was going to be it, frankly.
That's that could have been the break they were looking for, but
that's exactly right. They got a couple guys. They got a couple guys just playing center field back there, and they're dropping 8.
And we see C.J. Hazel We see C.J. Hazel right there, a guy who had a pick 6 a couple weeks ago. He would have loved to have had the opportunity to try it again. That's a fairly significant incomplete pass. So instead, it is just a 2nd and 10, but we'll have a timeout taken before. That'll be a timeout for BC here with 6:26 to go in the first half. BC with a 10-0 lead over Aiken. As they take a break, so will we.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move.
All right, we're back here. Haygood Stadium at Aiken High. Aiken Standard game of the week. Brookland-Cayce with a 2nd and 10 at the Bearcats' own 11. We've got about 6.5 minutes to go here before halftime. Moving along nicely. Barnwell moving along nicely right now, as we just saw on the scorebook there, with a 21-7 lead over Woodland down there in Region 5 2A play.
Well, we need some excitement here for the Hornets. Need something good to happen.
Well, we thought that was on the way on that tipped ball, but Brookland-Cayce will gladly accept that boring play as it turned out, and Sharpie quickly out there to Perdubsey, and that is going to be another Chandler Law Firm first down for the Bearcats out across the 25 and to the 27. Give him 16 on the play.
And he got the seam that time. Nice throw, nice catch. Good advance.
We'll see now as they send Morris in motion. He'll take it from there, and he is around the right side, and he'll be right there near some first down yardage again.
And that is Cam Morris. They list him as 6 foot, 175 pounds.
It's like that one, I think, was right on the mark there. So another Chandler Law Firm first down, 10 yards there for Cam Morris. And, you know, the times that BC's been pinned pretty deep in its own territory, it's gotten out quickly. Sharpie will keep it himself here as he's going to go toward his own sideline. Got through there untouched.
Showed a few quicks right there. Nice run to start this segment of the drive.
Yeah, he got half of what he needed for a first down right there. Nice and easy there around the right.
Anytime you get more than 3, I think it's a win. You can move the football.
You get more than 3 and you don't get hit. That's a win-win for the quarterback. Sharpie sent way out there. He had a man who wasn't looking. That was one where I think Cam Morris could have run a long way with it, but he and Perdubsey both kind of in that same neighborhood, and that sure looked like it was Morris's ball. So an incomplete pass and a third down situation here for Brookland-Cayce.
And Brookland-Cayce runs a short passing game for the most part. They don't take too many shots deep. That helps to explain their completion percentage, which is over 70.
And yeah, it does get out quick. Here we'll see the keeper, and he's going to get right up there near midfield. That should be enough. We're going to call that the 48-yard line. Needed 5, he got 6. And so again, we are seeing BC sustain drives and keep that Aiken defense on the field. And it's an Aiken defense that hasn't had a whole lot of rest here. Playing well despite that.
And they have come on since the beginning of the season. They play better defense now than they did the first couple of ball games.
Quick throw, and that one just could not be reeled in. That one was quickly to Malachi Brown and then quickly back to the turf.
I think Malachi was looking to run before he quite had that one.
So yeah, we're down around 5-minute mark, 5:17 to go here in the first half. BC looking to add to this 10-0 lead. As we'll see Wade join Sharpie in the backfield, and he's right up the middle. And look at that, there's your first down yardage once again as BC's picking them up 10 at a time just about.
And that was a nice play. Nice call by the coach and well executed. Good blocking up front, and Way picks up a nice gain.
That one, it looks like they're going to call it short for now. I think they will want to go ahead and measure this one here. So we'll see Pelion out to a 6-3 lead over Strom Thurmond. Strom Thurmond looking to wrap up that Region 5 3A championship. Pelion's still a player in that race. So
and that score surprises me more than any other we've seen so far tonight.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And Thurman's been on a roll since the loss to North Augusta. Rebels playing good football. And, big win over Gilbert to
yeah, that's a nice win for them.
That's a good win. And it's, that was the one that, unofficially clinched the region for them, this being, just a formality tonight. But the Panthers aren't treating it that way.
Looks more than a formality. The Pink Panthers, aren't they?
We'll have to ask Willie Fox over at Wagner Sally about his playing days back there at Pelion. We'll see, this one goes right.
Oh, that's a nice move.
Nice move, and he's...
They had him surrounded.
Well, now we'll see.
Late flag.
We'll see some flags.
And I would guess that's got to be against the defense, doesn't it?
The Aiken players were asking for it, so... Instead, we have a personal foul, or a block in the back, or perhaps both.
Okay.
Either way, it's on BC. And yes, the Aiken players were excitedly calling for a penalty flag there.
Well, they saw something because as soon as they asked for it, they got 2 flags, not just 1.
That one goes back to the BC 49. The 32 is the line to gain. So they need 19 here. At the rate they've been moving, picking up first down so quickly. Wouldn't put it past him. That snaps low, though, and Sharpie gets away again. He'll go right there for the original line of scrimmage. And every time that we see a play that looks like it could be disastrous for him, he winds up gaining yardage.
Yeah, he's been very fortunate tonight. He's very quick. They list him at 6 foot, 160 pounds. He's not the biggest kid in the world, but he's got some quicks. He's very elusive.
Got a lot of Daniel Carr to him. If we go back to the Midland Valley great, where just a lot of situations where you think he's extending the play. By every rule of football, there should be trouble for him, and instead he makes a dazzling play.
There's another bad snap.
And pressure coming in. The throw is right there, though, and that is Cam Morris. This time he hangs on.
You know, we talked about them early in the ball game. They had confidence in their offense because they went for it on their side of the 50 early in the ball game, the first drive of the game. And here, that's confidence too. He threw that to a single receiver that had 3 defenders in the area.
That'll get them right down to a 3rd and 1 here as we are under 4 minutes to go in the first half. And there's Way. And Jeremiah Green able to hold on to the jersey to slow him down.
And they brought the house that time. All 3 linebackers were coming. And unfortunately, when you bring them all, if he should pop through, it's a big gain, and he did, picked up the first easily.
Yeah, that'll be about 11 on the play for Will Way, who's got 88 yards of offense right now. We'll see the pass, that one a little bit out in front, but it's successful, and it's going to be a big gain. And it's still going with a little help from the line.
You know, they were trying to hold him up and strip the ball, and then the big lineman came and aided a little bit.
I think that was Trad Castles coming in there pushing it along. We'll
Owen Ard, the center, I believe, was in there too, and he only goes about 285, 90 pounds, so he could push a big pile.
Yeah, we've got a Hornet down on the play, so we will step aside as he's being tended to.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, back here at Haygood Stadium, the Hornet hecklers starting to stir a little bit, but the action's taking place at the other end of the field here as Brookland-Cayce again driving toward the end zone. 3:25 to go in the half, and that's a 10-0 lead. Thurmond riding the ship a little bit, pulling back ahead of Pelion. And North Augusta also with a 17-0 lead over Midland Valley at the half.
Maybe the hecklers need to come to life of their defense. They had a couple of decent stands, goal line type stands early in the ball game. They're going to need another one now.
See, man in motion. Hornets are there, and he gets away into the end zone. We do have a flag as it stands at the moment. Perdubsey's in the end zone. But we'll see what the call is on the field. See Owen Ard right there shaking his hand a little bit.
Yeah, and he's also shaking his head. He thinks it's against them, and it is.
So that'll take it back to the 14 for the Bearcats. Remains first and goal. 3:15 to go in the half.
That was a good cut, but not going to get credit for it. Took it into the end zone easily.
Yeah, good cut on a play where it sure looked like Aiken had him.
Yep.
Instead, broke 3, ran through a tackle, but ultimately it doesn't count. See if they try it again.
Same thing, and he makes the same cut.
And he gets free, and he's down back to the original line of scrimmage, just outside of it.
I mean, that looked like an instant replay.
Well, yeah, it worked the first time. Why not try it again?
Well, that's the old football theory. If at first you succeed, do it again until they stop you. Nice run.
Yeah, give him 5, or give him 9 rather, down to the 5.
Joe Perdubsey. Perdubsey, I guess is how you pronounce that. Coming the other way.
So he ends up going through the middle there. And this time they're able to just get enough guys on him. See minimal gain on the play. Give him a yard. give him a yard and see if our old friend is coming out on the field. And there he is, Tony Glenn.
Yep. He has not had as much success running to the right as he did to the left early. And there's a fumble.
Snap, and they finally got Sharpie behind the line of scrimmage.
And they've had a few poor snaps and no help there. I mean, he was lucky to continue to have the football.
Looks like we'll call that one a loss of 7. And that one will...
that'll bring on Honeycutt.
That one will back him up a little bit for the attempt. This one will come from about 28 yards. He was good from the 28 before. He's looking to make it 13-0 as we're under 90 seconds to play here in the first half. Snap on the way. That one is up. And it is good. Honeycutt 2 for 2. And Brookland-Cayce has a 13-0 lead over Aiken with 1:15 to go here in the first half.
I'll tell you what, they almost blocked that, and I thought Honeycutt did a nice job getting that kick off. He was under some pressure. Well done.
Still cool as can be, kicking that through.
Yeah, he did a nice job. And the Aiken fans don't have a lot to cheer about. And if, on the other side of the field, we don't have very many fans here from Brookland-Cayce. They've got the stands pretty much to themselves. So it's kind of quiet out here tonight for the most part. We need the hecklers to get rolling a little bit, and we need the offense to get rolling a little bit.
Our latest update from our good friend Michael Prandy, the head basketball coach at South Aiken, is that South Aiken and Airport are tied at 7 at the half. Thurmond and Pelion just went to halftime. Thurmond with a 10-6 lead, looking to wrap up a region championship. Brookland-Cayce here looking to get a step closer to one. Now, BC was a lower state championship participant last year at the Class 3A level, made the move up and joined our Aiken County plus Airport region. And off to a successful start. Green couldn't hold on to that one. We'll see if he can make something happen here. And BC's got him at the 16-yard line.
And good coverage by BC. Sometimes when you see a fumble occur, they sort of relax just a little bit. They did not that time. Bring Green down with no problem.
Yeah, and there really is no relaxing when the ball's near Jeremiah Green. So good coverage there by BC. Another halftime score. Ridge Spring Minetta has a 28-0 lead over Estill. So Kenny Lipsey's positive reinforcement during the week paying off so far. No stunner in Estill at this point.
And it's good to see Ridge Spring put some points on the board again.
Yeah, we've got 18 seconds left in the half, and I'm assuming it is at halftime now for Silver Bluff. 3-0 lead over 96.
That's a shocker so far.
We'll see the pump fake there to get the defender in the air, and that'll turn into some yardage, as that's a good run there too by DeAndre Bynum, able to power his way to a couple extra ones. Aiken's got to move quickly here with 53 seconds to go, with a couple timeouts left. So call it 9 on the play to Bynum.
They've got a couple of guys open down here. Let's see if they can get the ball out to them.
Not operating with quite enough urgency, I think, here, but we'll see Green come around the side, and with a little bit of that power, he's across the 35. We'll see if we maybe have Aiken take a timeout here, if they're going to try to hustle along.
And they are going to get the ball to start the second half.
So, yeah, they're under 20 seconds now. I know Aiken likes the deep ball, but they're cutting it close time-wise. We'll see another screen-type play. That's Green, and he is tackled inbounds short of the sticks. It might be time to call a timeout.
And they do get the timeout with 4 seconds left.
So now we'll see perhaps what kind of ball Wallace can put up in the end zone here. So another 9-yard gain there on the pass to Jeremiah Green. And so the Hornets will have it. Time for one play at their own 44. So a guy that I might watch if they choose to put him on the field, they may not. A guy who could make a big play would be Mason Hall, who is a key contributor to some really good Hornet basketball teams. So too is Charvis Jones.
Is that right?
Charvis Jones, the kid who, and again, our reigning Chick-fil-A player of the week. Charvis Jones was a kid who a couple years ago was sort of like a 12th man or so for that Aiken basketball team. Darius Jackson felt comfortable enough with him that when there were times where they needed some plays to be made, the youngster was able to come in and get it done. And he's kind of translated that over to the football field where he really is a breakout star. And then putting him over there up top, Austin McKay on his side, and we see Stavon Porter down here at the bottom of the screen.
Let's see if they go deep or they try some trickery from the back pages of their playbook.
They did score on a long screen pass to Jeremiah Green against Midland Valley, but he was not back there. Wallace is going to run with it, and that's going to do it for the first half. So that's about an 11-yard gain, but that's about 45 yards short of what Aiken wanted to do. And so that'll bring us to halftime, as it's been not the shootout that we've expected, but Brookland-Cayce has all the points on the board at this point. 13-0 Bearcats at the midway mark here at Haygood Stadium.
And I'm sure BC feels good about being in the lead, but they've got to be frustrated. They had the ball inside the red zone a couple times and came away with nothing. And Aiken, on the other hand, has not penetrated very deep, and so they've got to be frustrated too. So we got two frustrated teams. Let's see who comes out of the locker room with a good attitude.
Frustrated, but yeah, on the Aiken side, I think fortunate to only be down 13 points.
I don't think there's a doubt about that. They could be down by 28.
So that's, I don't envy the kids who have to hear all about that in the locker room here coming up. But we'll leave them to it. BC allowing the hosts to get by and back toward the locker room. But we'll let them have their chats, and we'll see what kind of adjustments are made once they come back out for the second half.
And we have seen the Aiken band perform at halftime before this season, and we're going to get a chance to see them again. They did a very nice job pregame. And
really, we saw them up close and personal during the pregame.
Yes, we did. They were in the pregame show for a few minutes.
Well, it is a senior night for them as well.
Yep.
And a lot of good things going on over here in the band department for Aiken High.
All right, and we'll probably take a break right now, and hopefully by the time we come back, the band will be ready to entertain us at halftime.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half-worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, well, welcome back. It's halftime here at Aiken High. 13-0 Brookland-Cayce leads. We're going to enjoy the sounds of the Aiken High marching band right here, a little 007 number for us. We invite you to stick around and enjoy it with us, and we'll be back in the second half.
Let's hear it one more time for the Aiken High School Marching Band. The band would like to thank their sponsors.
All right, we'll take a look at some of the scores from around our viewing area tonight, and some surprises, some not so much, and we see some folks really taking care of business where they need to. South Aiken, though, going to need to get things going. Airport opened the second half there with a touchdown to pull ahead 14-7.
Yeah, and that's a mild surprise so far. Okay, but South Aiken has the ability to come back. We've seen that the last few weeks, and I expect that they'll do that tonight. Yeah,
they've gutted out a lot of wins. That's something that Chris Hamilton's really proud of over there. So if they've got to be something, they're gutsy. That's for sure. And a tough loss that they suffered to North Augusta, gave up 27 unanswered in that one. North Augusta we see already with 17 unanswered against Midland Valley. And we were keeping an eye on that Thurman-Pelion game earlier. Thurman ahead at the half.
And I'll tell you what, that score is a little bit suspect to me. I'm surprised that it's that close. All right, Batesburg, Leesville over Fox Creek, and Fox Creek did score. All right, so that's still competitive.
The Silver Bluff score, that's one that is very, very interesting.
Yes, it is. Silver Bluff, I know D'Angelo Bryant's done a good job and they're improving, but they've taken it on the chin the last 3 weeks. So this is a nice comeback, especially against 96, who comes into this ball game undefeated and with an outstanding quarterback in Williams.
Yeah, the top 5 team in the state, and again, had that opportunity to play an undefeated versus undefeated game next week against Abbeville, but right now Silver Bluff, doing what they can to make sure that that's not the case. Wagner Sally taking care of business the way that they've been doing all season long. No lapse in focus from the War Eagles, and a win tonight gets them one step closer to a region championship, and
that was their goal at the beginning of the year. They
Absolutely.
wanted to win the region.
They knew they had a chance to make some history over there, and they're talking about things they haven't talked about since the mid-'90s. The young men on the field right now, the mid-'90s, well before their time. These are guys we could be talking about, 15, 20 years from now as being the past greats of the area.
Yeah, and they all look good. In fact, some of the names on the back of their jerseys look bigger than the players. Okay. But I know one of the teams is the Bears. Who's the other one out there? Can you pick that up?
You know what? It looks like some center Chiefs action. We're gonna see one around the left side here. He's got some Chiefs. Harrison with some room to move there, and it took a whole bunch of Bears to bring him down.
And there are 6 of them on top of him after that run. We've been over here before at Aiken when they've had this same thing with the youth groups that probably would like to play on this field as high school players one of these days.
Yeah, what a big opportunity for these kids. And you'll have some of the championship games get played over here for these guys, and the chance to play at Haygood Stadium for potentially the future stars here.
And I admire the guys that work with these young kids, and you see it took a long time in the huddle. They got to explain a lot of different things to these kids most of the time. All right, let's see if the Chiefs have anything in mind this play. The fans are cheering for these kids.
We went left before. We're going right. See if he can get the corner there, McLaurin. He's able to get something out of it before going out of bounds.
Bearcats coach over there enjoying that.
We'll see. He had to go a long way backward to get that thing back around, and he was, you know what? He had a good kick at the end there.
Yes, he did. He looked like a Sharpie there a little bit. He dropped back 25 yards and then turned the corner and picked up most of it again. Okay. And we're doing a scrimmage type situation here. Bring them back to the same spot. See how this play looks.
See if we've got a future Corey Wallace back there and just drop back and throw it deep.
Usually at this age, you have one guy on the team that can flat out outrun everybody else. Okay, we haven't seen it yet, but we might.
I was going to point out when you mentioned how much time they were spending in the huddle talking strategy, I was thinking, isn't it give it to the fast kid?
Give it to the fast guy. And these kids showed up very early tonight. They were here around 6 o'clock, checking in as soon as the gates opened up. Been watching the big kids play, and
hey, now it's their turn.
Now it's their turn.
See Harrison, he is able to get that handoff, but nowhere to go.
Stanishewski, I believe, got thrown for a loss.
I'm glad you tried that. I don't know how well I would have done with it.
Oh, I like this little spin move. That's like something back from the single wing days.
Well, back in the single wing days would have been last week for you. You saw a lot of that single wing from Wagner Sally.
Not exactly the same formation. Oh. Well, this is good for me. We're seeing the high school kids. We're seeing the Pee-wees here. And tomorrow I'm heading up to watch Clemson against NC State. So we should see a good ball game there, too.
One that, and look at the speed down the sideline there. I think we found the fast kid.
We found one of the fast kids. There he is.
What a run.
Okay.
Yeah, we'll see it again right here. 40 yards he covered. Look at that. Started slow, and then once he got to the edge
block
there,
on the corner,
he's gone from there. What a run.
Got a lot of cheers from the fans here. One of the louder cheers of the night, as a matter of fact.
The home crowd hasn't had a lot to cheer for so far. You are correct.
And if you look at that young man that just ran, I haven't picked up his name yet, but one of the smaller kids out there.
Well, when you're one of the smaller ones, you better be one of the faster ones.
Now they're coming the other way. Oh, and he might be gone too.
Oh, good move there. Good move there, but still.
Nice tackle.
Good recovery to wrap that one up. Helping each other up as well. That's what we like to see. As we'll see, look at that. Good recovery defensively.
All right, they're up there quickly. No play they're going to run next. The Bears look ready.
Get everybody lined up straight and see what we've got. Oh, tripped up a little bit. Tripped up a little bit. We'll put that back down and maybe try it again. See BC's heading off down the field to get prepared. Aiken not far behind them, coming down the ramp here.
And we got time for just a couple more plays with this group, and then they'll have to clear the field. Let the big kids get back out there.
There we go. We'll see another one toward this sideline. That's 7, and he's breaking free. Breaking free, and he's getting away again. What a run. Little dirt.
Oh, a little excitement.
Little dirt found pay dirt on that one.
And I'll tell you, this is a good run.
I hope somebody gets tape of that to J.W. Montgomery. That could come in handy one day. Little dirt was not going to be denied.
All righty. Got some nice moves.
You know, that's the excitement the crowd needed as we get ready for the second half here.
Well, Aiken's going to get the football to start the second half, and the hecklers better get ready. Let's take a break, and we'll come back to start the second half.
can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
Well, another look here at the Hornet hecklers. Not a lot to cheer about, as Brookland-Cayce is out to a 13-0 lead over Aiken. Again, big Region 5 4A matchup. Hornets will have the ball here to start the second half, looking to come back. And one of the guys I think they'll look to is our reigning Chick-fil-A Aiken Standard Player of the Week, Jarvis Jones, the big play wide receiver for Aiken. Kind of quiet first half there. He had a catch on a screen that went for 11 yards, and that's been it.
You know, I think they're more of a second-half team. That's been their tendency this year. So I think we're going to see something positive on the second half. And they're going to get the football to start. And I wouldn't be surprised if they don't take it right down and score the very first time they have it. They just haven't had the deep ball tonight that they like to complete.
Have not had it. The longest completion we've seen so far was 18 yards, and this is a team that can go for, 50 or 60, no problem.
The running game hasn't been much of a factor for either team, frankly. Will Way has picked up a couple big gains, but overall, we expected them to be throwing the football around the park, and that's what they've been doing.
Yeah, and Reed Sharpie leading the way there. He's got 143 yards passing so far, 63 for Corey Wallace. And the run game for Aiken, it's not something that the Hornets go to very much. Again, it's probably about 25% of their play calls. 34 yards.
34 yards
in the first half.
Okay, well, I think their leading rusher averages about 45 for the ball game, so they're probably close to right on target to what they do with the run game.
And we're looking at 126 rushing for BC, and when you consider, at least in the case of Reed Sharpie, how much he's backtracking before he gets going, it's even more impressive.
A couple of those, if they catch him, that'll take some big chunks out of that run game yardage. All right, let's see what they can do here to start this second half.
Need something. The hecklers just look to be in a daze over there.
And I think all they've done so far is get a little cold. It's starting to get a little chilly out here.
Well, we had plenty to cheer about a couple minutes ago from the youngsters on the field. We'll see what the Hornets can do here.
They are not out of this ball game. And
yeah, we were talking about that before.
Just a two-score game.
Yeah, I think if we had laid out the scenario for J.W. Montgomery and told him here are the things that are going to go wrong and you'll be down 13-0, I think he would say he'd take it.
Yeah, and I'm still going to predict that they're going to pick one off here in the second half. I think they've been close, and I will not be at all surprised to see one of the Hornets grab one.
Well, we've got Kyron Holmes and Jeremiah Green back there deep to receive. The kick's on the way. The second half is underway, and that's Jeremiah Green at the 9-yard line. And there he goes. Out toward midfield. He gets away to the 30.
He's going all the way.
Jeremiah Green, 91 yards for the score.
And that's the spark they needed. I of course, thought they were going to do it on offense, but special teams is just fine. Okay? Terrific run back by Green. Got hit a couple times, broke the tackles, and the kicker was not going to catch him.
I think you saw all the best assets of his game on display right there. The speed, the vision, and the power to get through those tackle attempts.
That's exactly right. Well put. Well put. Here we go. The hecklers now. They get to do their thing. Here we go.
They've been stirred awake here.
They could have been asleep at first. Here we go. A little swinging gate or muddle huddle or a little trickery. We saw this last week, and it worked quite well for Wagner Sally. Now they bring it back. Let's see if we can put it in.
And the snap gets away. Wallace will try to do something with it here, and he is taken down hard through the ball at the defender. That'll
be a penalty.
That'll be a penalty there, and
a little frustration.
Obviously, the conversion fails there, but more importantly is what comes at the end of it. And that, takes a little air out of the balloon from a 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown.
Well, they'll assess that on the kickoff, and that's going to give Brookland-Cayce a chance for good field position.
So, yeah, we'll take a look at it again here. Jeremiah Green.
Terrific run.
And that's how you get your team right back into the game.
Took it on the 10-yard line.
We see there the one attempt, and then right here. Right through everybody, and once he gets a step on you, you're not catching him.
A 90-yard coast-to-coaster, and what a big play for Aiken.
He broke the tape there as he crossed the play in true track fashion.
All right, and they're going to push him back for the kickoff.
Yeah, Austin McKay is going to have to really put a leg into this one, as he will be kicking off from the 25-yard line. But 14 seconds into the second half, and Aiken's gotten some points on the board after a long wait.
Back in the game, one touchdown down now, but they've got to make the extra point.
We'll see. We've got the returners back in the neighborhood of the 25 and the 30. We'll see where McKay puts it.
He gets his leg into this one. He could put it over their head.
Yeah, plenty of power. Made a 41-yarder against Midland Valley a couple weeks ago. And sure enough,
he chased him back.
That was a boot caught over the shoulder by Perdubsy, and that's at the 10-yard line. And we'll see, he gets out across the 30.
I'll tell you what, that penalty did not hurt them, thanks to Mr. McKay. What a beautiful kickoff.
Yeah, and when you've got a kicker at this level, what a weapon it is. I mean, we've seen on the BC side, Honeycutt's given them 2 field goals on drives that had stalled where otherwise they would have had to go for it, and McKay doing his part as well. Big time weapons.
Yeah, he kicked it better than they thought he would, and that hurt them. Chased them back 10 yards, and they really didn't pick up much at all.
BC will take over at the 31, and we'll see they go right back to Will Way. He's across the 35, near the 40.
And they were talking, he's looking for a face mask, did not get the call.
Didn't get the call, but got plenty of yards on the play. Give him 8. And he's over 50 here early in the third quarter. And he will come back with Sharpie in the backfield, and he'll take it right again. Hazel met him right there at the 40.
C.J. Hazel in on the tackle, and Matthew McNabb also in on the tackle.
And so now we're looking at a third and about a yard here for an Aiken defense that has played well, considering some of the holes that it's been put into by the offense. And we'll see the pass. Oh, nearly had him. And that would have turned into a nice gain for Jamison.
And he's calling for interference. Did not get the call here either.
Well, we'll see how close that was. Maybe that right hand around the waist before the ball got there.
I think it was, but no call. Now they're going for it.
And we've got movement up front, though. And that looked like one that Glenn was easily going to have the first down.
But I thought part of that, however, was the whistle had to have blown early, and they kind of just relaxed. Let's see what we've got.
timeout on the
Timeout
play.
called before the play got off. Okay.
So yeah, timeout Aiken, and this is a we'll wave off that flag. We're looking at a 4th and 1. The Hornets take a timeout. We'll take one with them. 10:25 to go in the third.
I had back issues for a while. I kept going back with different complaints. My doctor, he said, surgery's not going to do you any good. So I would recommend to you therapy. After therapy, I'm a lot better. I'm so grateful for that. I'm a lot better. Thanks to Aiken Regional Hospital for the joy that was put back into my life. Now I'm able to get on the floor and play with the children. And it's just a relief.
All right, welcome back to Haygood Stadium. Brookland-Cayce with a 13-6 lead, and another one of those 4th down conversion attempts upcoming. 4th and a long 1, it looks like. BC at its own 40.
And they're going for it.
What a momentum builder this would be for Aiken to get a stop here. But there's Tony Glenn back there.
And they are foot to foot on the offensive line.
Sharpie will take it himself up the middle. He breaks free. Can the Aiken defense catch him? That was Porter with the speed. But what a gain for Sharpie on a play where you need 2.
And I've got to see that one again. I don't know how he got through there.
And he's down inside the 10.
That's pretty amazing. It certainly looked like they had every gap filled, but he was able to find a hole, and that is a huge play for Brookland-Cayce.
Needed 2, and he got 52.
Wow.
And we go from pondering the momentum builder for Aiken, and we can turn that around right now. What a killer that could be. For Dubsy around the right side.
Oh, my goodness, he walks in. Oh, and that's disappointing for the defense.
What a swing there for Brookland-Cayce.
The Bearcats, we thought Aiken would come out fired up for the second half, and they certainly did. But the Bearcats looked like they were going to be stalled. A gutsy call, let's go for it on 4th down, and they make 52 yards on a quarterback keeper. Wow.
One of those fall forward kind of plays, and it nets 52.
And Produdsky takes it the rest of the way easily.
And we'll see the kick. It is good. And so call it a 20-6 lead now for Brookland-Cayce. What a response to get that lead back to 14.
And I think that stunned the crowd. They were excited for a minute, and now they look like they are absolutely stunned.
Yeah, the poor Hornet hecklers down here, they were excited for all of a minute and had it taken right back away from them.
And Brookland-Cayce goes on top 20-6. And we still have 10 minutes left in the third quarter.
Yeah, still.
And those two scores took about 2 minutes, and that's it.
Yeah, that was a minute 44 drive there for Brookland-Cayce, and again that 4th down conversion. And they've not been shy about going for it on 4th, but none bigger than that one. Yeah, we'll see where this kick goes. Surprisingly deep again, but that one going to Holmes, and we'll see what he can do as he's wrestled down.
And it looked like he had a little running room too, didn't it?
The Hornets may have found something they like over there on that right side.
All right, now we get the offense back out here. Got to pick it up, guys.
Yeah, first appearance of the second half for the Aiken offense here. And we'll see what they're able to get going. Hornets have it at their own 30, and we're just 9:55 left in the third quarter. And again, Brookland-Cayce, part of that 4-way tie for first in the region. Aiken looking to join the playoff conversation. We'll see the fake handoff over there toward Bynum again. Had a block, and he'll have first down yardage.
That's a nice pickup. They do a nice job with that play action.
So you pick up a 13 on the play.
No doubt about it. That looks like run all the way.
And look at Jarvis Jones getting out there and throwing a good block.
Well executed.
So Aiken now, first and 10 from the 43, a high snap, and Wallace is just going to have to take off. He's got the corner, and it looks like he'll be across midfield to about the 48.
Not a bad decision. He's got a lot of speed, and that can be a weapon too. Good athlete.
Give him 9 on the play. And Aiken looking at a 2nd and 1 here just across midfield. Wallace, no surprise, there's the handoff, and there's Green. And again, the strength on that.
Yeah, and he's looking for a call. He got grabbed on the helmet. I do not believe he took any part of his face mask. Good blocking right there. Nice move. Close.
Down there, that will be, we'll call that 11 yards for Jeremiah Green.
And they're on the move.
Down inside the 40. We'll see if they can sustain it. Green up the middle, gets thrown forward.
And their tempo seems a little quicker the second half. And Green in particular.
Yeah, he plays with a lot of tempo.
He's had a great second half so far.
Yeah, great second half for him already, and we're 3.5 minutes into it. So Hornets down inside the 35, looking at a 2nd and 6 here. Low snap. Wallace may take off and run again, and no, he throws at the last minute. That was nearly picked. That looked like that was Keon Middleton. Could have had that. A harmless incompletion, but a scary one.
But I'll tell you, you got to be impressed with his ability to throw the football. I mean, that was a shot coming out of there. Tight spiral, on the run. Pretty impressive.
And in that case, a lesser throw to the same area maybe is picked off.
That's right. That's exactly right.
So now we're looking at a 3rd and 6. See if they can sustain a drive here. It'll be Wallace on the keeper. He is across the 30 down to the 29. And we've got some more chatter, and Wallace is in the middle of it again.
Well, that's one of those situations. I think he got stepped on as he was getting up or something like that. It looked like somebody may have, and it may or may not have been intentional. I don't think it was intentional if he did get stepped on, but he wasn't happy, let's put it that way.
Right, and it's been a collection of things. On the 2-point conversion attempt, it was a hard tackle.
Yep.
Nothing, nothing penal about it, yet, just something that builds the frustration or adds to it.
And here we go, 4th down, and they're going to give it a shot, and I think smart move here.
Yeah, 4th and 1. We'll see what the Hornets dial up here. Again, for a team that hasn't relied on the run game much, they've been able to move it on the ground here.
One of the things that happens oftentimes is at practice, even for high school teams, if you're a throwing team, you practice pass blocking and throwing, okay, and defense is playing pass defense most of the time. And if you can run the football against them, it's tough for them to adjust to that. And I think that's what Aiken has done so far the second half. They've got them spread out all over the place again, and there's some running room there.
And we'll see a timeout from Brookland-Cayce. And they will go ahead and reassess how they want to line up on this fourth down play, and we'll see if Aiken might surprise them with an alignment. But we'll take the break alongside them. We'll see what they dial up on this fourth down play.
It all started that one family night in Dumfries, Virginia. Family night is for everybody. It's a time for families to do crafts together.
The kids just love going to Chick-fil-A for dinner. Being the single mom and getting everybody ready, it was tough. We would get there a little bit late, like on the tail end of it. Helen saw that I was having trouble getting them to Chick-fil-A for the family night on time and actually got it extended another hour. Noticing things like that, I never really told her how much she affected me, but she did.
Love you.
Move. Move.
All right, we're back here at Haygood Stadium. A critical play here looming for Aiken. A 4th and 1. That's all that stands between the Hornets and a nice little Chandler Law Firm first down. A BC stop here would obviously slow down some of that momentum the Hornets are trying to build.
I'm not sure where that smoke is all coming from or what it's for.
There's been a lot of it.
It kind of reminds me of a Halloween. Maybe there's a cauldron over there. They're a little early.
Yeah, I think that might be best case scenario down there too.
All right, Aiken really needs this first down. And I would not be surprised to see Brookland-Cayce dial up a run blitz. They got to bring somebody besides 3, and it looks like they are going to do that.
See, they need to get the 27 here. The handoff goes up the middle. That will be enough. So we do have a Chandler Law Firm first down for Jeremiah Green. Give him 3 yards on the play, and the Hornet drive continues.
And they are moving the chains. That's a good sign. And Green's carrying the load here a little bit so far. Wallace had a couple of nice runs also, but this has been the Jeremiah Green show so far on offense for the Hornets in the second half.
You see a first down from the 25. Wallace zips one out there to Porter, tries to make a little move. He's down near the 15. I think they'll probably call that just short of a first down. That is close, though.
Yeah, and that was a nice throw again. Nice reception by Stephon Porter.
So 2nd and 1 for Aiken. And again, the offense, this is, the best they've looked. That one kind of got eaten up there before it got started. That was another one of those screen type plays over to DeAndre Bynum.
And that was just a great defensive play. That was a great reaction by BC. Ball was well thrown. The kid makes a nice catch, but nowhere to go.
I think they've seen it enough times over there. They've got it figured out.
Well, we said coming into this game, both teams looked a lot alike on offense, and we've seen a lot of those kinds of throws tonight from both teams. Short passes. We have not seen really much of an effort from either team to stretch the field at all.
We'll see Green is back there with Wallace for a 3rd and 2. And there he goes toward the sideline. He's going to break through down near the goal line. Give him to about the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Hornets, a 14-yard gain.
And it's kind of a stalemate up front. Nice block right there by Porter.
That's as
excellent block.
That's as slow developing of a play as you're going to find for Jeremiah Green.
Nice block by Porter and also by Jarvis Jones, the guy that you've mentioned as the player of the week. Good block. Uh-oh.
A little trouble on the snap. Wallace going to try to get away. Jukes back in. He dives for the pylon, and he's got it.
He's got it. And he's been fired up tonight. We'll give him that. He has been fired up. And this running game that they just used, pretty impressive. Made a nice play there because the snap or the players, a little confusion. Let's just put it that way. It was not smooth, but Wallace made sure that it was effective. Into the end zone. Great effort.
Yeah, 5.5 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Aiken's made it a 1-score game again. Well, we'll see what we've got planned here.
All right, they've got this swinging gate once again. Let's see what happens. Need a good snap.
That one, another made extra point from Austin McKay.
That was a beauty.
So that'll make it a 20-13 game. Aiken not going away, and quite the response after what really could have been a killer. BC scoring at the other end.
And this is what we thought we'd see the whole ball game, because both teams are now moving the football.
Right.
And you can see the tremendous effort by the guys running the football. This is a great effort here by Wallace.
That snap almost looked like it went to Green instead of Wallace.
There was confusion back there. It was mistimed or something was wrong, but Wallace turns it into 6 points.
Yeah, some good work by Jeremiah Green on that drive. Green figured heavily into this game as a freshman back when these were region opponents. That was a 27-21 Aiken win in triple overtime back in 2015. A game that was moved up on a Friday night with a hurricane looming, and they ended up going 3 overtimes anyway. Bryson Jones had the game winner for the Hornets. That was the last meeting between the two. McKay sends that one out to about the 10, and Perdubsky got that one already with some steam. Picked up and slammed. Wow. What a hit from Matthew McNabb.
And McNabb has done a great job on special teams. He's the one that got down after the punt, or toward to defend the punt, and that was a textbook tackle right there. And the ball carrier felt that one.
And just as I'm mentioning that he's coming in with a full head of steam, McNabb put that to bed quickly. What a tackle.
Yes, indeed. It really was.
What a tackle, but good gain on the return out across the 35. We'll call it the 37 as BC takes back over here with 5:23 to go in the third.
And I'm surprised the ball carrier could hold on to that with the force of that tackle.
Sharpie just nice and cool back there with the pass to Way. And this is more room than he's had to maneuver, and he's hit.
And Jeremiah Green,
and
on the hit. And
looks like we've got a late flag coming in.
And they're going to get Green for leading with the helmet, I believe. Okay.
So that was already an 18-yard gain to Way. And that'll get the hecklers fired up for the wrong reason as we see the mysterious smoke rising again. So yeah, this is about as lively as we've heard the home crowd here tonight. They did not care for it, but we see on the Aiken ophthalmology replay.
Number 2, the ball carrier, and watch number 2 on defense.
He'll come in right here. And just a shot to the head.
And I know what they're trying to do, and certainly you want to keep everybody safe. But the ball carrier was actually hit a little bit right before that tackle.
Right. David Neal got to him first on the play.
And he it lowered his body, and sometimes that's unavoidable.
And we'll see Sharpie on the keep. And he's going to get near the sideline, and there's a big collision.
I said it in the first half. I thought that the secondary for Aiken was actually playing more aggressive than BC's, and we're getting some examples of it right now. They are striking people out there.
And Sharpie didn't really show much interest in getting out of bounds safely on that. I think he wanted to deliver a little punishment as well. So a gain of about 2. And we'll see what he can do here. The spin. And he's got a block out in front from Cam Morris. And another good gain there. He'll be down around the 20. Looks like a gain of about 7 for Sharpie. And that'll be right there in first down range. He'll be a yard short.
He has really been a little bit of an escape artist tonight. I don't know how he's gotten out of some of that pressure that he's eluded, but he's doing it.
Yeah, and since the season opener, I've been calling North Augusta's Tanner White the magician, and I think Reed Sharpie's got something to say about that too. We'll see a fumble on the play. Aiken's got it. Aiken's got it. David Neal picks it up. A bad exchange on 3rd and short, and the Hornets have it back.
Well, if we can see that one again, you can see that there's a collision between the ball carrier and the quarterback.
And we have a late flag here. Something with the celebration, so we'll see what we end up having here. As it stands, though, a fumbled handoff recovered by Aiken.
No, I don't think there's much doubt about the fumble. There was a lot of contact between the quarterback and the
Our concern here is just the line of scrimmage. We will see an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So that'll take it back. And so, good field position at the 35, and the field got a little bit longer there.
Yes, it did. And I'm sure Coach Montgomery is not going to be happy with that. Wow.
That's a 20-yard penalty, the way they've walked that off.
And the press box announcer is calling that one a 20-yard penalty.
Yeah, I think that. And you know what? The BC defense has come right up to the 15. They said, yeah, you know what? This looks like a good spot to us. So 15 yards from the 30.
Uh-oh.
So
here we go.
And again, this is one that I think is going to, require some explanation. I'm a bit confused right now.
New football. They wanted their own football. Well, we got that. Okay. There's a good.
Yeah, it looks like we're all set here at the 15. 4:30 to go here in the third quarter. Brookland-Cayce up 7. Aiken taking over after a fumble, but gave away some yardage, and starting here at the 15.
Philip Collins, the center, just shook hands with the defensive nose guard, and a little show of good sportsmanship.
Here we see a rush there from Brylan Jones, as he's got a couple. He's got a couple, and that's out to the 17-yard line.
And the intensity in this ball game has definitely picked up. And the fans are getting into it now. We'll probably be in for one of those late scores that wins this thing.
And again, last time they played, it went 3 overtimes. Here's Green across the 30, or sorry, check that, the 20. Out to the 22.
Silver Bluff scores a touchdown, takes a 10-0 lead.
Look at the Bluff.
The game between 96 and Abbeville may not be as important if that keeps up.
You know, they've put in so much good work this year with D'Angelo Bryant. What a win that would be for Silver Bluff. Aiken with a 3rd and 3 here. Wallace spins. Somebody's going to have to get open for him. That one's just heaved out there and safely out of play. Jones was over there, but that just a throwaway.
And obviously very good coverage downfield for the Bearcats. That is a coverage. Incomplete there. Batesburg, Leesville, 36, Fox Creek, 13.
Yes, and that is a final, as they were moving quickly over there at Lions Field. So Fox Creek now remains winless, rather, in region play. We'll finish things out with Silver Bluff next week, looking to break through. High snap. That one doesn't go through the end zone, and hey, he got it away. And a lot more exciting play than it needed to be.
Well, in high school football, punting is one of the most exciting plays you can have. And it's not just because it's such great play. It's just because so many crazy things happen.
You know, and as many times as Ingram's been out there, you know, all those in the first half, it was good snaps right on the money.
No problem.
And, you know, the only thing that was eventful was Way's attempt at the catch. This one had a little bit of everything.
Obviously a high snap. It was amazing that he was able to get the kick off, all right, and then they almost recovered a fumble. So you never know. They get the ball back, however, on about the 32.
We've got a bit of a stunner in that one. Airport 24-7 over South Aiken. We see Way inside the 30. 2.5 minutes, a little more than that here to go in the third quarter. And Will Way just picked up about 4 yards on the play. So interesting stuff with that Airport South Aiken game. As the region picture kind of starts to clear out a little bit, Sharpie going for the marker. He's going to spin back, and at that point, there's not a whole lot of good that was going to come from that one.
I've never seen quite a move like that. I'm not sure his coach is going to care too much for that one. He might hear that at the dinner table.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, as we look at the Aiken Ophthalmology replay, he gets right there toward the line of scrimmage and then tries to spin back, and there are more guys waiting for him there. So he loses a couple on the play. So it'll be a 3rd and about 5 for Brookland-Cayce at the 27-yard line. And there's an opening. There's an opening. Down to about the 5 and taken down. Big gain of 22 yards. Joe Perdubsey down there, you know, near the end zone again. And, you know, BC seems to have had a knack for when they've needed a 3rd and mid-range or 3rd and long, or even on 4th down. They've been able to convert them.
They've done that quite often. What they haven't been able to do is put them all into the end zone. Okay, now I think we have a flag here.
We've got something. We haven't seen didn't see a signal come across on that one. And this, it sure was, you know, in the neighborhood of a hold, and that'll come all the way back. You know, you go from looking at a 1st and goal at the 5, and now you're at the 37 and looking at a 3rd and 14, 3rd and 15.
You know, Brookland-Cayce's had good field position a number of times tonight, and penalties have really killed them.
We'll see what they dial up here. It looks like a deeper shotgun here from Sharpie. And he takes off again. He'll get out safely there, lunging for the marker.
That's a good effort by Sharpie.
We'll see where we get this one marked here. I mean, he's not even in the frame here.
No, unusual formation. Okay. I'm not so sure that wasn't a called run.
And yeah, but Porter kind of gave him the shove, but he dives for it. Looks like they've marked him just short. As we've got 1:01 to go here in the third quarter, and I guess we're going to call this
another 4th down play, 4th and 1.
A 4th and 1. 102 yards rushing now for Sharpie to go along with 161 passing. Needs one here. I guess we'll measure it first, but I think we saw what he did last time. He only needed a yard or so on 4th down. So,
okay, they're just placing the ball
close enough.
Properly.
We're not having to put any note cards down in there or anything like that to measure it.
No, they brought that out. They had measured it on the sideline, and they brought it out just to place the ball properly rather than bringing it out and seeing how it went. But interesting. We'll
get rearranged over there, and we'll have 4th and fourth in the nose of the football here. And right up the middle he goes again. This one.
That's not 52 yards, though, is it?
This one's not 52. We'll call it 2, but, you know, it's a first down all the same. So, yeah, we're under a minute to go here in the third. Again, BC looking to make this a 2-score game once again. Got we'll see a snap there with Will way back there, and that he got folded a little bit there after a gain of about 4. Got a final in the North Augusta Midland Valley game. North Augusta wins that one 44-0. So North Augusta will be in that pack at 3-1 in the region. We'll call that a gain of 3. So 2nd and 7. Again, nearly some difficulties there on the handoff, but churning forward. Dubsy down to the 10.
And we've got Will Way taking the snaps.
Looks like we'll just go ahead and call it here, the end of the third quarter. And another quarter ends where they've got to take the long walk to the other side of the field. We'll step aside as they do it, but with 12 minutes to go, Brookland-Cayce leads Aiken 20-13.
I knew he was in trouble. I didn't really know that it was a heart attack, but I knew he was in trouble. His right coronary artery was 99% blocked and already collapsed.
So within 10 minutes, they had put a stent in.
I'm so glad that we made that decision to go to Aiken Regional right away.
We definitely made the right decision in going to Aiken Regional.
I don't think we could have gotten better care.
All right, we're back here at Haygood Stadium at Aiken High. Aiken Standard game of the week. Brookland-Cayce has a 20-13 lead over Aiken, and the Bearcats are driving, looking to go up 2 scores once again. You know, we've mentioned it plenty. It warrants mentioning again. Brookland-Cayce part of that 4-way tie at 2-1 in the region. North Augusta and Airport have both moved to 3-1 with victories tonight. South Aiken dropping to 2-2, and Midland Valley down to 0-4. Brookland-Cayce trying to make that a 3-way tie, which would set up a very interesting game between Brookland-Cayce and Airport next week. Aiken, though, trying to make that a little less exciting and put more importance on the Aiken-North Augusta game next week.
Yeah, and this one's not over. This is a pretty good football game now. Both teams playing very hard here in the second half. And I'm sure the coaches have emphasized what this could mean to both of them. And the South Aiken game still gives Aiken hope regardless of what happens tonight.
So yeah, we'll start the fourth quarter with a 3rd and short at the 11. And easy as that, straight ahead.
And that was Sharpie. He's back in there taking the quarterback sneak.
He gives them a 1st and goal, and we'll call that the 8-yard line. And quickly, and perhaps too quickly, as we've got a marker down. And we've seen that a few times tonight from Aiken. Not lined up right.
And on that play, Brookland-Cayce had an unbalanced line, and it's possible that there was some confusion in terms of the defensive alignment. Don't know for sure, but that might have had something to do with the offsides.
Yeah, so it'll move up 4 yards closer. BC from the 4. There we see it to our guy Glenn down there.
Oh, that's...
And he is in. And it is a 2-score game again. On a 4-yard touchdown run from Tony Glenn.
And Tony Glenn is a junior, and as we've said before, 5'9", but 215 pounds. That's a pretty stout running back in high school.
He's a people mover, much in the way that his linemen are. So we'll see Honeycutt come on to attempt the extra point, as he tries to make this a 27-13 game. And he does. So it's a 2-score lead once again for Brookland-Cayce. You know, we've seen Aiken get it going in special teams. We've seen Aiken get it going offensively on the last drive. Well, with 11:28 to go, it is time for another answer here.
What was the length of that touchdown run?
We'll go 4 yards on
4
that
yards
for Tony Glenn.
All right, and Honeycutt with the extra point. And the one thing about Glenn, that time he was standing straight up, and then he got straightened up even a little bit more. But he's so powerful, he was able to carry him into the end zone. I'm sure they would like to see a little forward body lean as he hits that line of scrimmage. And that can be a good teaching point as they watch their film.
So he finds the Tyler Tire end zone there. Again, 14-point game, 11:28 to play here at Haygood Stadium. The ever-dangerous Jeremiah Green back there on the return. I expect we'll see this one angled in the direction of Holmes on the far side there. Instead, we'll see a little squibber right up the middle. High bounce fielded right there.
And that may not work out as well as they had hoped.
No, a good return there.
Absolutely a good return.
That's a guy who, you know, you don't plan for him to have the ball, but C.J. Hazel's a guy that if you're BC, you still don't want him to end up with it. He, you know, he's good with the ball in his hands, and he's got it to midfield.
Yeah, good start. Great field position.
Did a good job to play that bounce too. So yeah, midfield for the Hornets, and you know we really haven't seen much in the way of the deep ball.
Nope, not at all. And they've been running the ball effectively here in the second half.
But we'll see what the plan is here, and that is that's Brylan Jones back there with Wallace.
But they are in a must-score situation, I would think.
There's Jones around that right side, and he's got about 5 on the play.
That's a good start.
Yeah, we'll call that 5.
Kyle, you're doing double duty here, aren't you? You're calling the game, and then you got to write about the game.
Yeah, keeping stats, you know. It wouldn't be a football Friday night without a little bit of multitasking.
There you go.
At least tonight I'm not on the sideline taking photos. We've got a pro down there this week with our buddy Artie Walker, getting all the best shots. Wallace drops back, and he's going to drop back even more. Just wings it out there, and incomplete.
Kind of nice to have a game right across from your office, isn't it?
You know, it's a difficult track over here across Rutland Drive.
But it take you 30 seconds?
I'll brave it whenever I can. Although I will say, coming over here at 6:15 on a Friday night, tough to hit a spot where there's no traffic to walk across easily. But
gotcha.
Got lucky this time. Hornets looking to convert a 3rd and 5 here from the BC 45. That one right at the sticks. Good play, that one to Bynum, and he's going to end up with about 10. He's ruled dead there as he was really fighting to keep moving. But a good 3rd down conversion for Aiken.
And once again, you got to admire the fact that Wallace can roll to the left, okay, and put so much on the ball, right on target. Nice reception by Bynum also. Well executed play.
We'll see a quick one out there to Jarvis Jones down inside the 30. We'll see where we spot this one, probably at about the 29.
Another well executed play, and you get a block there. That helps to spring him. Bynum with the block on the corner.
So it's 7 more yards for the Hornets. 2nd and short here inside the 30. This one will be Wallace's to keep. and doesn't get much out of it. It's good play defensively. Does that look like Des Moore that was there to escort Wallace out of bounds?
Obviously, we're in 4-down territory, but we got a pretty important 3rd down play coming here.
Third and 3. We'll see it go to Green up the middle, and he'll have first down yardage. Needed 3, got probably 4.5. And maybe a little more excitement after the play.
Yep, there was some excitement, and Green was going to pick on a defensive lineman. That might be a little bit of a weight mismatch.
Yeah, not that we ever encourage that type of activity, but if it's got to happen, stick to your weight class. So from the 24 now, Aiken with a fresh set of downs. And Wallace kind of got hit as he threw it there.
Yeah, they brought some pressure. They brought a little blitz on the corner there, and Wallace lucky to get that off, and I think he smartly just threw it out of play.
I think BC's seen enough of the screens tonight. And yeah, by virtue of that being a backwards throw there, that is going to be a loss on the play. And a pretty significant one. That's about 8 yards.
That's pretty heads up by the referee to make sure that they called that a lateral.
So Aiken's back here at about the 33 now. And yeah, it's second and we'll call it 18. And we'll see how much of it Green can get back. Green down to about the 21, so he got a good bit of it back. He got, we'll say he got 12 of them back right there.
You know, when I watch how hard he runs and how well he runs, it's hard for me to believe that he's only averaged about 40 yards a game. Looks like he should have more than that.
You know, just with as much as he's called upon to do defensively and on special teams, and he gets in there on the receiving game too. You know, all purpose, the yardage is a little more reflective of the impact he has for this team. And they're down to the 20 here, 3rd and 6. And the rush comes in, and Wallace just had to get rid of it.
And Brookland-Cayce has not done that much this evening, but the last 2 plays, it's been pretty effective. And that time, there was somebody right in Wallace's face, had no chance to really get anything good going on.
And that is how, and we're taking this back to like week 2 or so, that is how Strom Thurmond kept Aiken from, you know, getting over the hump in that game. Is on those downs, Thurmond sent the house, and there wasn't much time for Wallace to throw it.
No, there wasn't any time on that last play.
So here we go. 4th and 6, but we'll pause. Aiken will take a timeout to chat about this one. We'll pause alongside him. We've got 7:47 to go here in the 4th, and on the other side of this break, Aiken with a big 4th down upcoming.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tire she's riding on will. With a revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even when half worn, it's still safe, thanks to EverGrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
All right, we're back here. Big 4th down upcoming for Aiken, which trails Brookland-Cayce by 14. It's a 4th and 6 at the BC 20. While we're away, we have a final score. Silver Bluff pulls the shocker 17-0 over a 96 team that, you know, can go for 50 plus on any given night.
That is a shocker, and what a great effort by the Bulldogs. Silver Bluff coming up with a shutout. That surprises. And the fact that
that's a top 5 team in the state that Silver Bluff did that to.
That's right. Now that's like the Silver Bluff of old. That for years and years that was not unusual. Silver Bluff could do that to anybody. But they're on their way back. It looks that is a huge win for that squad.
And D'Angelo Bryant knows the Silver Bluff of old, and he's if anybody's going to get him back there, it's him. So 4th down and 6 from the 20. Wallace scanning. Oh, what a pass breakup. Over the middle. Who else? Will Way.
Good defensive play by Way, certainly.
Wallace was looking over the middle for Bynum there, and Will Way. Wow.
He's had an impact on this ball game, hasn't he?
I'm trying to think of a phase of the game where he hasn't. Unbelievable.
All right, now we're in desperation mode here. We need 2 scores.
Yeah, 2 scores, and it's in 7:41 to play here.
Got to make something happen on defense. They cannot let BC just get a couple first downs. That would be enough to salt it away almost.
Hey, why not reward the guy? Up the middle goes Way, and he's going to pick up 15 on the play. I hate to, break the bad news to the rest of the region, but this kid's a sophomore. So out to the 35 goes BC. They're holding up the ace of spades on that side of the field. We'll see what that play call turns out to be.
That's an unusual play calling system. Okay, we see a lot of different ways to do it anymore.
They've got quite the variety over there. Could this be the ace of spades right here? Oh, that's not. Tackle around the head. Well, tackle attempt anyway around the head. As we see Perdubsy there go to about the 43-yard line.
That's their version.
We'll see the
jet sweep, it looks like, and
yeah, it was Jeremiah Green going for the high tackle there.
Yep.
But it's an 8-yard gain, and a 2nd and short opportunity here for Brookland-Cayce.
And no flag.
And we've got a final down in Estill. No lack of focus tonight from the Trojans. Big win for them. Ridge Spring Minetta 41-15 at Estill. That snaps a 2-game losing streak in region for the Trojans. They are 3-2 now in Region 3A play. Sharpie going way back. Hazel and company. And you know what?
We finally got it.
We finally see him go down in the backfield.
Been unusual. But there were 4 people there. They had him corralled, and didn't make any difference which way he turned. Somebody was going to be waiting for him on this play. Smart move to hit the ground.
Yeah, loses 9 on the play, but there's going to be a lot of folks that are happy to see him leave. He is quite the ball player, the senior for Brookland-Cayce. And now they're looking at a 3rd and 11 here. 5:38 to go. Hornets need a stop. And here he goes around the corner. They'll have him down at the 40. As we see another play there, Nick White is in on a lot of these tackles for Aiken. He's really all over the place for them defensively. So we see a gain there of about 6. So yeah, it's a 4th and 5, and we'll see what the decision is here. We'll see where they choose to kick this thing, because again, with Aiken, there's guys you don't want to kick to over there. Think back a few years ago when they had Kwame and Simpkins, that was a guy you just kick it out of bounds, keep it away from him. I think Jeremiah Green's about the same kind of ball player, and it looks like we've got to delay a game to just back that up a little bit more.
And I believe this might be the first punt for Brookland-Cayce tonight, isn't it?
Another final. Strom-Thurmond, undefeated Region 5 3A champions, overcoming the early deficit to beat Pelion 31-13. The Rebels will enjoy a much-deserved rest after 10 straight weeks with games, and they'll await the release of that bracket, and they will have a #1 seed in it. Good snap there. The kick is, it's pretty rough, but a good bounce forward, muffed, and BC's got it. Now, you can't advance that, but it's still.
It's going to be their ball.
It is. It is Produbsey's ball. He's, wow, what a play there to snatch that one out of the air. Because that, we'll see this again on the Aiken Ophthalmology replay. This one took quite the bounce.
Yeah, and it wasn't a particularly good punt.
And he is able to grab that before it hits the ground. So if that gets past him, that's bouncing even more. There's a chance a Hornet could fall on it. But what a blow to Aiken. They get the stop to force the punt. And BC gets it back. 4:29 to go. And they're at about the 47.
And at this point, it won't take a miracle now.
The Hornets at this point might just have to try to strip the ball at every opportunity. There goes Will Way up the middle. And he's got a couple.
And that's a pretty good run considering he was hit 2 yards behind the line of scrimmage and was hit by a couple people, but still picked up a couple.
Got a couple yards, secured the football, kept the clock rolling. That's the name of the game right now.
Yeah, we're going to be under 4 minutes for the next snap.
Yeah, and they've got a play clock there in the end zone, so they can sit and watch it bleed all the way down. So we're under 10 on the play clock, approaching 3:45 on the game clock, and up the middle we go, and that's Glenn. And he's going to be in the neighborhood of a first down.
They've used him sparingly tonight, but he's a good running back too.
There's no wasted movement when he gets the football.
And it certainly looks like he's built for a little bit of banging around in there. Big, strong young man.
So yeah, that is a first down that Glenn picks up, and we're at 3:05 to play here. The first down signal. And so you got the clock rolling now. They can let this thing get down to just a little bit more than 2.5 minutes before they snap it again.
And the Bearcats have had some interesting games against the teams from Aiken County this year. They lost one when they gave up a lead. They came back and won one against one of our teams. And tonight they've had the lead, and they're looking like they're certainly going to hang on.
We'll see a flag there. We saw they went with Glenn there to the left.
Power eye, and
we have a face mask against BC.
It's unusual when you get an offensive an offensive team with a face mask call, but it does happen, and it can hurt you, but it's not going to make much difference in this game.
Yeah, 2:33 to play. Looks like we've got Aiken with one timeout left, so the Hornets have to knock the ball loose here. BC back to midfield, and they can get this one down to about 2:08 on the game clock. We see what a score there. Blackville Hilda 52-20 over Williston Elko. A Blackville Hilda offense that has transitioned more to a wishbone type deal. They've had it working tonight. Here's one right up the middle. And we'll just hold everybody up here. Gain of 5.
And I've got to believe that Blackville Hilda just out-physicaled Williston tonight. They're probably a little bit older, a little bit stronger. It's a building year for Williston, there's no question. And in fact, their coach said, he knew that some teams were out to get him this year.
Well, when you're Williston Elko and you're on the top for so long, and it's the winning tradition there at Williston Elko has built a tradition of, they take everyone's best shot every week.
That's right.
So they, it was, I guess, their turn to take some lumps this year.
And they have taken some lumps. They've been beaten pretty badly by a few teams.
And one of them being Wagner Sally, who got a 46-0 win over Denmark Olar.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Focused as can be, those War Eagles. Another step closer to a region title.
And I am just surprised, but a stat that's kind of unusual. Going into this ball game tonight, Blackville Hilda had scored 81 points in 7 games.
Mm-hmm.
They got 52 tonight. All right, which is a huge difference.
That's, the Blackville Hilda is not a team I would want to see come playoff time.
Yeah, they've come on, that's for sure. They're shutting people out, although they gave up some points tonight. But when you score 52, that's likely to happen.
Yeah, so 4th win in a row for the Hawks, who are squarely number 2 in the region. Had Williston pulled that off, that would have created a 3-way tie for 2nd with Ridge Spring Minetta. Instead, Blackville Hilda holding on to that number 2 spot. Still a lot to play for in that region. In Class A, the playoff bracket's kind of funky. There are a lot of spots available, lots of buys that can be earned. And right now, Wagner Sally and Blackville Hilda have themselves positioned nicely for the postseason. We're under 2 minutes to go here, 1:57 on the clock. And why not? Glenn, one more time.
You talk about the playoff system. Over the years, I've been kind of curious about some of the ways that South Carolina runs their playoff system. They've changed it over the years, but that's true of every state. I can remember up in Maryland, we would have teams that were clearly better than some other teams that wouldn't make the playoffs,
right?
Just because of the point system or whatever. And so it happens.
The point system that we used to have up here was interesting. We had when we had the 2 divisions in Class 2A. I mean, everybody got in.
Yeah.
And now with just our straight just 5 classifications, it certainly has changed some things. We're at a minute 14 to go here. BC just at this point can start thinking about Airport.
And they have a little more to think about with Airport since they pulled off the win tonight. That'll be a big game for them also.
Huge game for no disrespect to either of them, but the outsiders in the region with the 4 Aiken County teams, as we see Barnwell 42-21 over Woodland. And
that's a good win.
Oh, wow. Wait till next week. Barnwell, Bamberg, Earhart. And speaking of the Class 2A and up there, in the rankings, there will be a little shake-up there. We had the top 5 teams were all undefeated and had stayed mostly the same for a while. Well, 96 is dropping from that club.
That's for sure.
So we'll see how that shakes out, and we'll be keeping a close eye on that Barnwell-Bamberg game. Bamberg's been the thorn in Barnwell's side for a while. Barnwell with a chance with that new passing game, perhaps, to turn around a lot of negative memories.
I think you were right earlier in the evening when you said that maybe that's a little bit about what Dwayne Garrick was thinking. Have that ready at the end of the year, and looks like it's worked.
We'll see Glenn one more time here with a minute 14 to go. And he's still going. He's still going. We'll give him 9 on that one. Another strong run, and we're under a minute to go here.
Well, some other good news for us. I'll be really happy to see Silver Bluff in action next week in the final regular season game.
That Silver Bluff coming off a win.
That's right, against Fox Creek next week.
But by no means safe in the playoff chase.
Not yet, but I tell you, I think they've got to be favored over Fox Creek.
Absolutely, I think they will be.
That.
And Fox Creek certainly has a chance to spoil the good vibes over in Petticoat Junction. We'll see. Glenn, I think, ran into his own guy there and still powered through anyway, and that's going to do it. We'll see some extracurriculars here. As the clock gets down under 20 seconds, and at this point, let's get everybody off the field and call it a night.
Let's see what they do. They may do that. I don't think he gained a first down on that last play, but yeah, now they put up first down, so we may have one more yet.
Yeah, personal foul there. Certainly would have made it one had he not gotten there.
And it looks like they may call it right now.
We'll see.
And I don't think that's a bad move if indeed that's what they're going to do.
See the head ref head toward the Aiken sideline, and we'll see what we decide. But at this point, this one all but over.
And I think it may be over.
They will run the clock now, and so that will do it.
Yep.
So we will have a final here at Haygood Stadium. Brookland-Cayce with a 27-13 win over Aiken. BC now part of a three-way tie for first place in Region 5 4A. Aiken drops to 1-3 in region play. Up next for the Hornets will be a game against North Augusta. North Augusta also one of those 3-1 teams. And what a big one for BC next week against Airport.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Of course, that's out of our area, but it will have an impact on some of our teams. Certainly North Augusta will be curious about that game.
It will affect where all of our teams are going come
right.
postseason. And yeah, I mean.
And here's the update. North Augusta, Airport, Brookland-Cayce, 3-1. South Aiken drops to 2-2. Aiken 1-3. Midland Valley, the only team that's likely out of it.
If you're North Augusta right now, you are the biggest Airport fan in the world next week. If North Augusta takes care of business and Airport helps them out, then that will be a region championship for North Augusta. So that'll do it here for us.
That will do it. Good ball game. Some good things. Disappointing for Aiken. I'm sure they're a little frustrated. They really thought they could come in here and win this ball game, as did a lot of other people. In fact, Eric Russell selected them to be the winner tonight, and they come up just a little bit short.
Yeah, Eric took another gamble in the picks, and I do believe he had Silver Bluff tonight, so unfortunately we'll hear about that from him in the picks email next week. So still tonight, just every time it looked like Aiken was breaking through, BC had an answer.
They did. They played a solid game. Didn't score as many points as they normally do. Didn't give up as many as they normally do either.
And it's a move to 3-1, so that'll do it for us here at the Aiken Standard Game of the Week. Brookland-Cayce takes this one over Aiken, 27-13.